Morning of February the 22nd, 1992. This is Danny Butler. My wife, Mary Butler, and I are getting ready to leave our home in Malvern and go to my hometown of Vernon, Alabama, in Lamar County, to visit with my great aunt, my grandfather Butler's last remaining sister, and we will meet with my father, W.B. Banks Butler, there in Vernon at a store that he owns, to go to my great aunt's house. Her name is Connie Butler Robertson, and we're going to spend a portion of the day talking about the family. This is not a presentation, so it's just get to sit around and talk.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some things come out that may not be historical, but they're going to be interesting to us.
Well, that'd be what.
I'm going to see if that's recording. Well, it was recording, so
Yeah.
we're going to save it for posterity, or whatever you call it.
Well, that's not good. Fine talking to these old folks of us. We've got to live to be old.
Yeah.
Don't we all hope we get to be old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Live this long.
Yeah. Well, you know, back out what I remember about being a boy and being a Butler is going to Grandpa Butler's and Grandma Butler's birthday dinner, and that's not really my grandma and grandpa. It's my great-grandma, great-grandpa.
Yeah,
And
it is.
for some reason, I was always calling Grandma Butler Mama Butler and Daddy Butler. Daddy, why were they not Grandpa and Grandma to?
I don't really know how that came about.
We used to say Pa and Ma when I was a little
Yeah,
girl.
I was trying to say that.
And I was a baby in the family, and I asked Papa and Mama one day, I said, we want to call you Papa and Mama. And me and Minnie's the only one that ever did. Didn't your daddy and all of them say Pa and Mama?
Pa and Mama.
Pa and Mama.
Yeah.
And y'all said Grandpa and Grandma, didn't you?
Pa and Grandma.
Now that's the way it started out, that we had to ask if we could call her Papa and Mama, and me and Minnie is the only one that ever did.
Well, you know, I don't know where it's Mama Butler or Daddy Butler, but I've been told that they felt like they were too young to be called Grandpa and Grandma. And
Well,
so that allegedly that's why I was to call them, Daddy Butler and Mama Butler.
Well, that'd have been all right. Well, y'all's children. What did you call them, Lady Lou? Daddy Burt and Mama Burt?
Oh, yeah. LaBelle's children calls them Daddy Burt and Mama Burt.
Well, I thought they did.
Yeah.
I didn't know where yours did or not.
And Neil, my rich boy, did that too. He didn't call him.
Did any of the kids, any grandkids call them Grandpa and Grandma?
I don't really think
All
so.
of mine, my children call Papa and Mama, Grandpa and Grandma, just like you.
Yeah. Now, you the youngest.
I'm the only one left, huh?
She's the youngest and
Well, I thought you were the youngest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm 79.
Well, I had you at 77, but this,
Oh, man. I can call back them 2 years. I didn't know tell them what I could do.
well, what you got in mind?
well, what I remember though about being a little Butler growing up is going out there, Grandpa and Grandma's house, and all you folks had the tables around the yard and had
Food all
all over them, and a lot of folks came there. A lot of people came.
It was a community.
Yeah.
It's just a community thing.
Yeah.
And the little boys, did you get in that cob thing?
Yes, we did. I remember the corn cob.
Horseshoes. That was
And the men
always
folks had
recreation.
swept yard,
Yeah.
swept clean yard, and y'all dig
Yeah,
and
we
had your
swept it
pitching
every
dollars.
Saturday morning,
Oh, did
me
you?
and Minnie.
It didn't no grass growing there.
No. we
You
couldn't.
girls, that was one of your chores on Saturday,
Yeah,
was to.
had to sweep them whole acre nearly, No, it wasn't acre.
But it seemed
Big
like it
yard.
back then.
Yeah, it seemed like a long time, and I got
And tell them what kind of broom you swept it with.
oh,
Dogwood.
dogwood.
It was made
He
out of
didn't make a dogwood.
Oh, sure enough.
Dogwood limbs, cut them off and tie them up together, make the best broom.
It's called a brush broom.
Brush broom.
Now, did all you kids grow up there at the side of the house? Do you remember
No.
living in another house anywhere?
Rolly, my oldest brother that died when he was 3 months old or 6 months old, I forget which. He is born right back down the hill, banks the other side of, down below the house.
Yeah.
Have you got that down? He is.
No, I ain't got it down.
Now he's the only one that wasn't born in the old house. Grady was the next boy, and he's born in where I was born, you know. And Grady's a lot of years older than I am.
Don't get confused. That Rolly that you're seeing now,
Yeah.
that's a different Rolly.
That's
your
my
brother
My
Rolly
Rolly, it's on
is
this.
named after this Rolly though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And see if you notice, Rolly, the one that lived 3 months, your brother lived 3 months.
William, is it William Rowley?
He's not on there, and
Well,
I just wrote him
that's
in.
that is.
See, there's Grady and Noah and everybody on
Well,
there.
now the two that died wouldn't
Well,
be
there's
on
two
there.
on there. You ain't got on there.
All right, let's see. There's Grady,
Anderson.
Noah, Minnie, Clarence, Connie.
Well, you
Yeah.
see, there's Marvin Anderson in between. Which one was it?
He's
Right?
trying up Grady and up and over.
No, it's Clayton and Minnie, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe your daddy and Minnie. For there, if it,
That's a different person.
because in between.
Here, let me get you drawn out. Now Grady was the oldest.
Rowley
Living.
was the oldest, but he died.
Okay, so
When
their
he's 3
first
months.
child died,
That first, William Rowley did.
and he was 3 months old when he died.
Uh-huh. And then Grady was next. And then Noe was next. And I just may not know exactly where it was Anderson or Minnie next. Or Clayton next. No, Anderson was between Clayton and Minnie, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was, because there's too much difference in their age.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's just one difference, 1 year difference in Rowley's age. My oldest brother died. And Grady, because Grady was born in a year after Rowley died. So usually there's 2 years difference in our ages,
Yeah.
nearly 3 in mine, Clarence's.
Now, Daddy, that's why you've got a brother named Rolly. More than likely, Rolly, your brother was named probably because.
I don't know whether that was right or not.
Yeah, I
You
bet.
think it was?
I
Yeah.
bet it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it was. Papa said he's the prettiest, sweetest
I never did
boy
know
he'd
where
ever
the
seen.
Thomas come from on Rolly's name.
Oh, no, now Papa's name's Claiborne Poole.
Yeah.
You
Um,
reckon
and Clarence was named after.
Thomas comes from your grandpa's Stanford.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Thomas
Yeah.
Stanford.
Thomas.
Well,
That's
of
right.
course.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So the Rolly
And
came
Frank
from
was
the
named
Butler
after your
side.
Grandpa Stanford.
Yeah.
So the Rolly, Daddy, came from
From
your
your daddy's brother.
from his daddy's brother.
His daddy's
Thomas
brother,
Stanford.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the Thomas part came from your mama's side of the family. So that's how Rolly
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah, now that's the way that goes, because Franklin was named after Lou's daddy, you know.
Well, let me ask you
See,
this
we're
now.
kin to you on
Both
Franklin's
ways,
side
yeah. Let me ask you this now. Now, Daddy, is your name just thought up, or is it?
No.
Does it go back?
No. My name was, I had an Uncle Willie Butler and
Yeah?
an Uncle Willie Robertson.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sure did, Banks.
Uh-huh.
One on your daddy's side,
There's
one
the
on your
Willie
mother's.
Robertson. There's the Willie Robertson right there, and there's the Willie.
Butler.
That's Willie. Yeah, that's one of them. Uh-huh. There's a Willie Butler up there, and then there's a Willie Robertson. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
now that's who.
Now, what about the Banks part of your name? They just like that.
They like that already.
There's a Banks Robinson, your
Yeah,
mother's
I
first
don't
cousin,
know
but
that.
they wouldn't have named you after Banks Robinson.
No. I don't know where that, where that come about. That's just part of it.
Lane County now, so I'm aware there of the home site, and you know I've been out there a couple of
Yeah.
times the last 2 or 3 years, and that yard's not as big today as it used to be.
Lord, no. I thought it was a whole acre when I was walking.
Every Saturday morning, I heard you say an acre a while ago. It looks like about a tenth, don't it?
Yeah,
Now.
yeah, it does.
But now the house was there. Did your folks build that house, or they buy
Papa
that?
and Mama did, yeah.
They built the house.
Yeah. Papa has told me who built the house, but probably niggers helped him. A lot of times
Places
there's
probably.
lace niggers or Walker niggers or something. But I don't know what they did. The men would just get together and build houses and barns and things like that.
Yeah,
The community did.
Community deal.
Everybody
log
just-
rollings and stuff like that. you know.
Barn raisins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, y'all have any idea about what time when that house was built out there?
Lord, now let's see.
Well, you can.
You figured out by
When
that
was
child that's
Papa
born and
Mom
died.
Carl, I mean, Rolly was born at the other place, and then a year later, Uncle Grady was born. He was born up there, so we pretty well know from that.
So
Get the date
it'll be older than what Grady
right
was.
here's
Yeah.
C.P. Butler married to R.A. Oakes in September the 12th, 1918.
Here's Oaks,
It's-
R.A. Oaks right there.
Banks, can you see if that's 1887? He made. Here,
It
look.
looks like 96.
Now here's
Oh,
here's
that's
something to
right.
tell us. Here's something to tell us on the back right here, y'all.
Yeah.
Des?
1898.
Daddy, on the back of there is William Rowley Butler. What year is that?
1898.
Yeah, no, it's got his date.
1898. They weren't living in that house. Didn't have a house. He was born
No,
down.
he was born down there in
In
the
the
holler.
Is that straight off behind where the house is?
Yeah. You used to remember where the old pear tree was back of Papa and Mama's
Sure
kitchen?
do.
Well, now it was just a little further towards Old Spring on the side of the hill down there. I guess you might have never went to it.
So what happened? Now, when was Grady born? Is Grady listed his birth on there anywhere?
Now, Rolly was born first. See if it's listed.
And
I just
Let's
don't
see,
know. We
Willie
used to
Rowley.
have more.
And John Grady,
John Gray.
born July the 18th, 1899.
so
See,
Uncle
he just
Grady's
born a year
1899.
Yeah.
So Uncle
They
Grady's
married
built in, born in a new house.
Yeah, he was bound
So
to
that house was there in 1899.
be. Yeah.
Well, it was built, it had to have been built then, and he was born in July of 1899, and this boy died, Rolly died the 18th of 98, so it had to be built in 98 probably for him to be born then.
So
Yeah.
it was before the
Oh.
turn of the century then, before 1900.
Let's see, Grady, did it tell when Grady was? Yeah, you just read about Grady.
Noah
Noah was in-
Franklin Butler, born July the 25th, 1905. Harrison Clady Butler, April the 17th, 1904.
Minnie Eddie.
Adine Butler, January the 3rd, 1906. Mavis Adine Butler. Who's that?
No, I don't know nobody like that. That's a Dennis.
It's Marvin Anderson.
Marvin Anderson
yeah,
Butler.
It does look like
There you
Marvin.
go.
That's Marvin
Yeah.
Anderson. Now that
That's
which
between
one was?
Minnie and Clay.
1908.
That's after Daddy Butler,
No.
After Minnie.
It was after Aunt Minnie.
after Aunt Minnie, and
And then your daddy was
Then-
it Clayton
yeah.
Egg. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was no.
No, whoa, wow, it's not. Daddy was born 1906. Thomas Clarence Butler was born July 1910. And this guy, Anderson, was born 1908.
Yeah.
And Aunt Minnie was born 1906. So he was between Aunt Minnie.
And your daddy.
Well, yeah, this is not down in
it's not in order.
order here.
Not in order, I guess. Yeah. He is between.
No, that's not right.
He wasn't between Minnie and Clayton.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we'll get the
Daddy
clean
was
copy
born
there.
Might have been.
1905. 1904. Aunt Minnie was born 1906, 2 years later.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Anderson was born 1908, 2
Well,
years
that's 2
later.
years later.
It's
It's
Uncle
between,
Clarence born 1910.
it's between Minnie and Clarence. I found it
2
right
years
there.
later.
Yeah,
And Connie Ray.
Connie Ray.
I didn't know that was your name.
Yeah, Papa named
August
after
the 27th, 1912.
Baptist preacher.
You were named after a Baptist preacher.
Mm-hmm.
What there in the community?
A Ray. No, I don't know. He's a preacher just come and held a revival or something that Papa just loved.
So the children pretty well born every 2 years.
Yeah.
Everyone in that settlement was.
Always.
Uncle John Woods' children, and Uncle Levi's, and Mr. Joe Hankins' family, and all of them had the baby every 2 years.
You know, something just popped in my mind and thought about talking about. Where was the fellowship school?
I can get a
Was the
picture.
fellowship school up there around the cemetery somewhere?
Must have been.
Was that a church, Aunt Connie?
Yeah, it's a church.
But used as
I've got the picture. I think I gave your daddy one.
I saw one in the paper a few years ago, you know, and showed the kids out in front of fellowship school, and
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that.
Oh, I think I've got one.
A long time ago, they used to have school in church house.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
That's the same thing.
Mr. Bert Cunningham, Grady, and Noah, and all of them's in here. Clady's not, I don't believe.
Well, that one there, where the
There's,
church is.
there's the farm when you
That
had
was down there across from McGill place, wasn't The school? Was
What?
it there at the church?
Well, this was back when Grady and Noah was just little bitty fellas, all short then too.
And kind of where was that church? Yeah, now that's the one I saw in the paper. Did you give them
It
that
used
picture?
to be there where we go, right about where we go to church now. Yeah, I guess that's the one that's put in the paper. Jerry
Yeah.
sent off and got that
Uh-huh.
for us.
Now, you're saying that Fellowship School,
School, and
they
that's-
went to a church house to school,
Uh-huh, that's it.
and that's the old Fellowship Church.
Yeah, and I don't know how long that's been. Did I give you one of them?
And they
things?
kind of, let me ask you this now, where the present church is, the yellow brick church, where was that one located now?
Well, it's set,
It was set the
long
other way
ways.
of the cemetery.
set
Wasn't it?
that way, going
Where the
north and south.
where the parking lot is out there now?
Well, no, it'd be back
Necessarily.
towards the cemetery.
Towards the cemetery.
Right where Preacher Vaughn's buried along
Yeah,
there.
along there, that little road goes out around the cemetery. Actually, it's set where the cemetery is right there.
Now, I'll show you.
Mhm.
That little boy on his knees and Noah stuck right down by him's Grady and Noah. Yeah. Now that's how long it's been. Of course, Jenny and Artie and Sally and all of them.
So now this would have been in these little fellows here, that's
Grady's
your
a-
older brothers, and that means then that
Grady's
this would
old.
have been in the teens, this would have been in the 19
Early
teens.
1900.
Early 1900. Grady, you see, Grady was born. Then you see 19.
Yeah, and just look at the windows out of that schoolhouse.
Yeah, Lord. And
Church
of course,
house.
this is not the
It was
one
lucky
we
it
went to
then,
church
didn't
when
it?
we was
It had
little.
windows in it.
Huh?
Yeah.
I say he was lucky it had windows in it back
Yeah,
then.
and sat in the window during the revival meeting.
Here's where Grandpa and Grandma was married.
And you see, there's just how big
Yeah,
Grady
yeah.
Noah was.
Uh-huh.
Grady's sitting on his knees and Noah's hunkered down by. And you see, they're just little
How
fellas.
about that?
You know, it's been a long time ago, and they're 90 something now, or Grady is.
Ain't that so?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Miss Fanny, Miss
Now,
Now,
Carrie.
Uncle Grady, he's not here anymore, is he? Is he still?
None of 'em but me.
okay. I was thinking
There's
you were-
Grady and Noah and Clady and Minnie and
Clarence.
Clarence and me.
Mhm.
And I'm the only one.
Mhm.
Franklin's the only one in his family except the half sister.
Hmm.
That's something.
You didn't understand what Frank ago. You asked, where did you put him in age?
Well, you're just a mere child, aren't you? I don't know.
He really is not. He looks good for his age, I think.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
And kind of one time you told me you remember when Daddy Butler, Clady Butler, he and my grandmother had set up housekeeping over there around what we call an oil well and Tate Place and all that. And all, I guess oil well was something later on from what time I want to talk
You mean
about.
that's when they lived at Grandpa Butler's old place, Banks? And
That's where I was born.
Law and I had to go stay with Banks and Clady
Would you
Lewis.
babysit him? Or?
Yeah, they went to the Holler Field. I guess is a mile, wasn't it, Banks? Mr. Johnny Gilmer come along. They had the bedpost sitting on Banks' little coattail. Now you won't all this on there, Banks don't guess, but anyway, I only found out about that child Emma leaving it up there at the house by itself. And Papa said, you just get on your shoes and you go stay with that baby. And you know how far it is from where Papa lived there.
Did
out
you
in the
walk
yard?
all the way
all
from
the way
over
to Grandpa
there?
Butler plays at Blackjack, and went by Mr. Bert
My
Cunningham's and like they got
goodness.
dog bit. It's a wonder I didn't
So the road went up through the Bert Cunningham place up through there
up
then.
an old hill
Mhm.
back this side of Mr.
I used to
Bert's
hunt
place.
up through there by that syrup mill and the old Bert Cunningham home place and all that up through
Mr.
there.
Arthur place.
So that's the way the road went then.
I guess it was, 'cause I made one. If it wasn't there, I made it.
You know, you walked a long way.
That was more or less just field roads from the place
Yeah.
up there. They'd come to their bottom fields, and these roads down these fields.
Hill
yeah, they'd
fields
come
and
from
so
the other
on.
way, you know. And that's
It wasn't
pretty
real
well- It wasn't a public
gravel
through
road
there.
or nothing. We
Okay.
just had a path, more or less,
That's right.
Uh-huh.
going to the field.
The
Is-
public road pretty well traveled the same route.
Yeah,
Come
it
out
does
from
now.
From Daddy's to Mr. Benjamin Cunningham and come up with Mr. Burt's and his
On
group's
the
place and on through there like that to the Blackjack.
Blackjack and
Yeah,
Mr. George Guyton.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now, what you're saying is back then, Daddy Butler and Mama Butler went to the fields to work. And
Yeah.
they had one child, more than likely at that time. That was Daddy. And the babysitter was a bedstead. Bedpost. They put the bedpost on his
On my dress.
On your
I
dress.
had a dress on.
See, little boys didn't have little breeches then.
Back
And
back then,
and you'd have to know what a good bed I made. That was
children older wore dresses. They wouldn't know.
boys, no, little boys wore that's the cutest things in the world. Of course, your daddy is the cutest little one that's ever been in here yet. I thought he was.
Now,
Look like that.
let me ask you this, Aunt Connie. Now, how is it that if you lived all the way over there at Grandpa's
Yeah,
place
next to fellowship.
and
Well,
halfway across the country, how did your daddy know to send you over there to take care of my daddy?
Well, the commissioner, Mr. Johnny Gilmer, told Papa that that's what he saw. Thanks to the house by itself.
And your daddy didn't care for that.
No, he wasn't in the house. That little grandson sitting over there by himself. And he just cried, you know. Of course, he was scared to death. I guess I would have been. And it was when I got there, he didn't cry no more. We just went out there and had a little cropper house out there from where Clayton and Lou lived. And we went out there, and I don't remember what I made for what kind of a bed I made, but I got out and pulled a sage grace. It was that long sage grace, and made the softest bed. Of course, I just fixed it and made it up like a bed. And he had him a little home, rock him to sleep.
Now, is that where my grandfather and grandmother set up housekeeping? Was that the first, after they married, that house that you went to take care of Daddy? Is that the first home they had?
It was
First
where,
place to live?
Yeah.
it was where Papa was.
No, where my dad.
Your
Yeah,
daddy,
I'm
yeah,
talking-
yeah.
yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
first place they lived.
Yeah, it was.
And they moved from there, over there where Bell and Woods, out behind Bell and Woods.
That little house still
Oh, they
stands?
did live there, and that's where me and Vernon lived when we married.
But yeah, that little house still stands out there.
Yes,
Is that the
sir.
same one?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same one.
Well, I believe it is.
It looks.
I thought it was the same one
And
me
then-
and you lived in. Of course, we lived in
We
it later
moved.
back.
We moved from there and moved down there where Dad's place is now, only in a different house, an old
Oh.
house. Lived there. That's where I.
No,
that's
you're
where
talking
I
about where
lived.
Squeaky and LaBelle lives now.
Well,
it
in a
wasn't that
right
house.
beside of it.
Okay, and it was back toward the little crib out there, the house.
No, middle
Back
side,
the other way.
on the east side, towards the garage.
Towards the garage.
That's where Tilden Murdy lived
Built a
first.
new house, and you could just walk between the new house, the house that's there now. You could just walk between it and the old house sitting there. We left the old house standing till we got the new one built, and then moved over into it.
And then we went there to see after Banks and Rowley.
That was built.
Franklin even helped do that then.
Oh,
We
yeah.
on later
Well,
went
Frank
to
was
the field
always
with
just
him.
part of the family.
Well, of course.
There, he stayed with us a whole lot. And we
Yeah.
just thought of him as him and Kermit was just
It seemed like sure enough
sure
family,
enough.
didn't it?
I mean, it was part of the family, but I mean, they
Franklin
just
gets so
stayed
sorry
with
for
us a
little
lot.
Rolly Lee, his little cotton-headed boy. And Lou would tell him after he eat dinner, said, "Now, Rolly, you go on towards the field now, and you'll be there when we get there." And Franklin couldn't stand the thing. He'd go out the road a crying. He'd went and put him over his shoulder and told him to the field and back.
Now you talking about Tilden and Murdy Maddox? Is that
They used to live where.
in the house that y'all moved to there at Daddy Butler's
Yeah.
before y'all built the new one? Who had
Tilden
lived?
Murdy lived there, didn't they, babe?
No, wait a minute. No, they never lived over there.
Okay,
What?
okay.
Well, I mean, though,
They lived over
where
at the
Clayton's house is
Where
now.
the camp house is
camp
now.
house is now.
Yeah.
That's where Tilden Murdy
But
lived.
now where Daddy Butler's house site is now, they didn't live there in the old house.
I thought they did.
But I-
Poor Clayton Lou lived there, but I don't know where they did. Not Les married poor Clayton Lou was.
So they bought Daddy Butler and Mom Butler bought that place there where y'all grew up, and where LaVelle and Squeaky lives now. From who owned that place?
It wasn't Tilden's or Milton's. Milton lived down the road.
I'm not
piece.
positive. It was bought from Federal Land Bank, I believe.
Yeah, I guess.
It was financed through Federal Land Bank,
I
I
really
know.
don't know
But
where
when
that
I
is.
can remember when Daddy paid off Federal Land Bank for the place, and it was in the Federal Land Bank when he bought it. But now or Tilden controlled it,
Milton, or whoever owned it, or Uncle
Clerty
Levi.
Perkins. I don't know who owned it.
Uncle Levi lived where your place is now. That's Tilden's. That didn't want to. Yeah, he
I believe
did.
he did one
He
time.
sure did. I believe Lonnie
Lonnie
owned
Maddox.
where Clady built.
Did Lonnie Maddox move on to Florence later on?
No.
Later years?
Bill Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had
Mhm.
a grocery store there.
Hmm.
Well, yeah.
And Daddy, I know I talked to you about it, and I ain't wrote it down, but since we're putting stuff on the tape, talking about those Maddoxes and talking about Mama Butler and Daddy Butler meeting and all that kind of stuff, and that place there that you gave me, the Maddox place, I guess is what it's
Yeah,
called.
it's like a Levi place.
That's a Levi place.
Levi place. For the sake of the tape, though, Mama Butler and Daddy Butler met. How do you understand it that they met now?
Well, Tillman and Murdy
Yeah,
was
was married.
married. See, Aunt Murdy was Mama's sister. Tillman and Murdy was married, and Daddy and Tillman was related there and grew
Well,
up in the
they're
same
kinfolks,
community. They
yeah.
kinfolks beside, and they got them together. Tillman and Murdy got Mama and Daddy together. Daddy went with Tillman and Murdy up to Grandmama's and met Mama. Then they got married. In the backseat of the car, young Sheldon, wasn't it?
Well, I
Justice.
don't. Yeah, he's a justice.
Well, he's the one that married him because it's in the Bible there at the house.
Oh,
Well,
He
okay.
was married by
married him
Justice
sitting in the
Peace.
car.
In the car.
No, it wasn't young Sheldon. It was
Oh, no, really.
what's that man up the Hartsville
Didn't know
Road?
that.
Lawrence?
Calvin.
Calvin Lawrence, thanks. I
That's who it
believe.
was to
And your mama just laughed about how he married him.
I tell you, she had a way of laughing, didn't she?
Daddy
Oh,
always
he
said he
was
wasn't
so-
sure if they was really married.
Did they get papers on that?
He said he wasn't positive they was really married.
He didn't know. He thought Calvin Lawrence didn't know how to marry him.
Yeah, that's what he was getting
Yeah.
at. He didn't think that guy knew what he was doing.
Oh, we used to go to 8th to Stanford with Clay and Lou after they married. I did. And Clay did tell us to get out of the little old buggy that he had and walk on the rest of the mules, you know. Anyway, we'd get out and then he'd whistle at them and they'd run off and leave me and Lou. We just played from there to
He's running
And,
me
yeah.
and Rolly to death going to Grandma Stanford's up
yeah,
there.
well, that's
anyhow.
where we was going.
We'd get out behind the wagon, you know, and it had a coupling pole, we call it, sticking out behind
Sitting
the
on-
wagon. We'd sit on the coupling pole, and then we'd get brave, you know, and we'd get off of it and be walking behind. Daddy'd see us doing that. And he'd pop
Slash them.
mules, and away they'd go, and he'd run us.
Then we had some good
Oh,
times
we had
back
good
then.
times. It was good times. We enjoyed it.
Get up there and play at 8th to Stanford's and she said that'd be all right for us to play hide and seek or something, or box turned over, whatever you call it. And if we wouldn't get on that bed that was laid with bats to make quilts, you know, they just stacked them and just like a bed. It's just like, and said just so you don't get on that. There's two beds in there, and they got old Howard in a tight, and he just flew and just lit in the middle of that carded bats that was supposed to make quilts and masses too. And of course, I don't know. We worked the rest of the night trying to fluff them up, so Aunt Nancy wouldn't know we'd done that.
You know, Aunt Connie, do you remember your grandparents?
Oh, Grandpa and Grandma Butler.
I mean, your
Yeah.
grandparents?
Yeah, that's my grandpa and grandma, and Matt Oakes and Mary Oakes. That I didn't remember them as good as I did Grandpa and Grandma Butler. We'd go in the wagon over at Grandpa's where your daddy was born.
Yeah.
And
Now, see, that's the grandpa she's talking about is her grandpa.
yeah,
That's right. That's the
that's
one
Harrison Butler.
that's
Have
right.
y'all got
Butler.
that down?
That's
Harrison and Francis.
That's Harrison Butler and Francis. It's got a G here. Francis G question mark.
Well, you know what? I just studied last, since your daddy mentioned this to me, you was coming. I cannot think where Grandma was a Garrison or whether she was a
I thought she was a Godfrey.
Godfrey, and she had to have brothers and sisters that was Garrisons.
She was a Godsey.
Yeah.
Godfrey,
Godfrey.
Godfrey, I guess.
Okay, Godfrey.
Just like,
Okay. now Harrison C. was his name. Harrison C. Butler.
Harrison Claiborne, I guess, for
Was
Papa's
that-
name Claiborne.
That's right. You think it's probably Claiborne?
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe it would be. I wouldn't be positive, but
And this Godfrey now, were they of that community up there? Did he go somewhere else to get her, or what?
well, I think
You
the
know?
Godfrey used to live down in the holler the other side of where Banks was born. And that could have been they just met there. I don't know. They are.
What are you talking about? Towards Stanton Hankins, is back in there?
Yeah, or just
Or back this side?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember where we, for the purpose of the tape, we won't be saying Papa for this and that. I want to try to keep it straight for whoever tries to listen to this tape. Harrison Butler. That's what he went by, right? Your granddad.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything as a child about being around those folks?
Well, we'd go and they'd have this homemade cornbread, and it didn't smell good and as bad as much. And we'd get out and romp them hills.
Where you wouldn't have to eat the cornbread?
Well, I guess we eat some of it probably. But anyhow, yeah, we'd go in the wagon over to Grandpa. And Grandpa had a kind of a rough voice. And
we're going to stop it and... Yeah, I had this don't play, didn't I? Thanks. Gosh, we would carry on a conversation, they would never heard what it had to say. But we were on the other side of this tape now talking about Harrison. You say Harrison, that would be my great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
And say he had a what kind of voice?
Just kind of a gruff voice.
Gruff voice, and children didn't take to him much.
Not all that much. I reckon they were kind of afraid of him or something. I don't know. He spoke kind of short, I guess it is. But
that's the way you put it.
In other words, he didn't have much to say and didn't have much to do with the children or grandchildren.
Well, we'd get out and play, but
really back then it was really different what you're thinking now.
Yeah.
The
way parents were and where they were.
I mean, they were sitting here on the porch and the children didn't bother them, really. They were outside in the woods or at the playhouses or at the barn or something. They played different from what they do now.
Yeah, they didn't have a car in the old country.
They weren't running everywhere, and we wasn't running in to get a Coke or
wasn't no Coke either.
Well, you were expected to get out of the house.
That's right.
Just get out and play.
Get out and play.
And you didn't run to ask mother to get your gloves and your coat on. You just went. You might have your shoes on, you might not, but you went.
In other words, you expect to get out from underfoot. They didn't.
Yeah,
they want to visit.
Just one of the things that you got together.
The older folks just stayed together, and the kids played.
Kids got out and played.
But we had a good time.
They didn't come around, sit at the table like we sat here, and interrupt what the parents was talking about or stuff like that.
Like some children might do now.
Yeah.
Well, we can see where we've deteriorated to now, can't we? Can't carry on conversation. Kids won't let us see it. Yeah. Now, we're talking about Harrison, and I guess all these people farmed those little patches. Nearly everybody in the country did then for a living.
Mules or horses, I don't know. We just had really.
They pretty well grow the common crops that we know.
Yeah, corn.
Well, they grew the living.
That's the only way they had.
So they had their own milk and beef and
coffee. That's about it. If you had it.
And sometimes eat cornbread. I don't know where Grandpa and Grandma did for breakfast. We did one time.
I just realized something. I remember Daddy Butler and them, I think, milk and bread. Daddy, I remember you growing up, when I was growing up. Milk and bread, that's a main thing.
And Lou filled hers full of black pepper.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, good.
I do too today.
You still eat that?
Sure, I eat
Well, I eat milk and bread, but I don't want no black pepper.
Well, I make it black with pepper.
Lou did.
Well,
I didn't know you done that.
Well, I remember when Daddy lived up in that house above Fellowship, a little rolling store came through out there back then.
Goodness, that was the life of riding.
But it didn't go back to Harrison.
I was going to ask.
No, it come by Papa's place, though.
Well, I mean, it didn't back up in years.
Oh, yeah.
To Harrison Butler.
But now, can't let me ask you this. Now, Daddy's saying it don't go back to Harrison. Did it go back to when... Do you remember the rolling store as a girl?
Yeah, but before I married, yeah. Mr. Willard Webster.
Willard Webster was his son.
Yeah, and then Felix Reed had a rolling store.
Eddie Woods Collins. I can remember at home, this is way later now, at home we had a peddler every day.
Came through every day?
Where Dad's place is now. Well, we was raised. There was a peddler every day.
Now that wasn't
different peddler.
Different peddler.
A different peddler every day?
Peddler every day.
Timon Sanford was one of them, and Felix Reed, and
in other words,
Eddie Woods Collins.
And
they were just all kinds.
Mr. Webster.
And Price from Beaverton, what was his?
Yeah, Bonnie Price.
He ran a peddling store through there. But there was one I can remember at one time, and Mama always met the peddler. Daddy didn't. And I always got chewing gum, and Rolly got tobacco. That got big enough, you know. Rolly would smoke all the time. I didn't smoke, didn't want to smoke, and Mom would buy me a pack of chewing gum, or bubble gum, and Rolly get a sack of oil down in the country.
Did the folks out in the country wait and do business with a certain peddler, or they just
They
whenever
had
they
their-
need
just
something
like
they
they
Yeah,
do now.
and
They're
they'd
great.
buy our eggs, you know.
Their favorite.
Ooh, I love
Chickens,
to get them
corn.
eggs.
They sell kerosene, whatever,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
They'd have fresh chickens on there?
No, they buy you
Yeah,
chickens.
they
Buy
buy
you
you chickens and
chickens,
eggs,
yeah.
yeah,
And
okay.
Buy what you need and trade them chickens for.
Y'all trade live chickens and eggs
For your groceries.
for your
Yeah.
groceries. Now, back to what, back Harrison C. Butler's
Now,
time.
they wouldn't have had nothing
Oh,
like
no.
that.
All right, now those folks back then, going back to what they buy there, you talking about sugar and flour and meal. Now, where did they get that stuff back
Columbus, way back yonder, my daddy talked about going with a rental.
About 2 to 3 days.
And they'd be gone about 2 or 3 days, camp out between here and Columbus. Then my daddy, after we come along, we went to Fayette, buy 100 pounds of sugar every spring and Boulder domestic to
You
make
buy your
sheets
stuff
and
about once a year.
and
or
shirting
twice.
for the boys' shirts.
then? Now,
Yeah.
would that have anything to do when your cash crop came in?
Yeah, went to Fayette with on a bale of cotton and bought all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
My young'uns ride on that bale of cotton, me and Clarence especially.
Do y'all remember shoe buying being only after the crops are in and they got some money for the cotton and that kind of thing? Do
Well, I
y'all?
guess that's the only way we could get any when
Oh,
the
yeah.
cotton was sold and buy
Mm.
shoes and school things.
All right, but you're saying back in Harrison,
I don't know about
Butler's
that.
time, that was probably before these little old local grist mills.
Yeah.
That was before then.
Yeah.
Because we're probably, when we talk about Harrison Butler, we're probably
way
talking
back.
about in the mid 1800s, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking about around Civil War time.
yeah.
Because his son was having his own children by the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Right.
So about Civil War time, wonder where Harrison came from in here.
Well, I used to know, and it used to be in one of the bigger Bibles. And
I used to think, now I could be wrong on this, that the family, our family, the Butlers migrated from Georgia.
Well, now that's what I'd heard, back
Yes.
sir. I used to read that in one of them Bibles.
I think that was what I can recall, what
Yeah.
little I can recall about it.
So you don't really know where Harrison came from Georgia or came and settled in here, or what his daddy did, or
No, we wouldn't know.
as far as
that
we know,
back.
there's no records that indicate anything.
Further back than
I wish
Harrison.
you could get somebody that's really got the records, Danny.
Yeah.
Vernon said Joy, I think, fixed them for him, but Jessie Lee's got them, I think. You could just run them off, you know, if she's got 'em.
They kind of, you was talking about y'all buy 100 pounds
Sugar.
of sugar. What
And
was
a
it
barrel
in?
of flour. Barrel of flour. Did you ever see a flour barrel?
Yeah.
Thanks,
mhm,
you go on.
mhm, mhm.
I've seen one, I think.
Yeah. Let me ask you this now: was the sugar in the barrel?
No, it's a 100-pound sack.
All right. Now, when y'all got to the house, what y'all do with that sugar?
I don't remember, must have put it in jars or something. Or it wouldn't have done to left it in that sack. It got so hard.
Let me see if I can spring your thinking here just a minute. Mary's got a sugar chest that was given to her
Oh,
great aunt as a wedding present up here in Tennessee, which would have been back in the 1800s. It's a sugar chest. It's got a little where you put a key and lock it, and that was made out of native cherry. She's got it at the house right now.
You're
Now, sugar to keep it away from the kids and keep it dry and all, I guess. They used to have furniture to hold it.
Well, we had that for meal and flour.
Uh-huh.
Pull out the
Mhm.
drawer and
Well, the sugar come out in barrels one time. Or I
Did it?
remember my
well,
daddy.
his
had-
daddy was
back
old
when I
cook.
first remember, my daddy had a little grocery store. It was 8 miles from there before we lived over to Fayette. He'd go and buy his, where's the
Barrels of
dice
sugar.
over there, bring them back, he'd buy sugar by the barrel.
Well, Papa
Bring
could
it
have,
back
but
there
I
and
thought
put
it
it
was
in the store,
store
sit it
called.
down, knock the head out of it, and then, what, if you want 10 pounds sugar,
Weigh
say how
you
much
out
you
10
want.
pounds.
Bought it by the pound.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know, I just the reason I was asking about that sack or that
Yeah.
barrel, I wonder how
was
they
not
kept
a
it.
big item. There's very little sugar used in the first place.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, sweetened things with syrup.
Yeah.
Sorghum
That's why a
ribbon
sweet
cane
potato
won.
was so good, wasn't it?
I guess so.
Because it wasn't a bunch of candy bars
Well,
at
it's
the
something
house.
you didn't
No.
have to buy. You could grow it. People were self-contained, so to speak, back then. I mean, they grew this stuff.
Yeah, they had what?
Had their own milk and had their own beef and own pork and raised their own corn. And
See, they-
Had sorghum
they
ribbon
grew
Had
it all
syrup, ribbon
syrup
cane
come
syrup.
from the port.
They did just
Yeah.
have.
All of it,
I
yeah.
chewed 100 stalks of. We
Ribbon.
lived down there on Clayton's place. That's where our daughter was born, and way up on that hill. You never did see the little house.
He never saw the house, I don't think.
I
He
don't
knows
think so.
where I
He
should
knows
which one is that?
Way up.
They lived.
Oh, I know where it
It
is.
was up a
Well,
place.
That's
I know
where
where it
Danny
is.
Butler was born.
The house has been going all my lifetime, but I know where it was.
I knew he knew it.
When I
William
turn
Gore
around
up
checking
there
on the
and
place,
anywhere.
I can see the end of that
I
little
chewed
hill up there.
100
where you-
stalks ribbon cane that fall before Danny was born. So ate them.
Well, y'all, I want to ask you about this now. Talking about Mr. Burt Cunningham's place up the holler up there,
Yeah.
you know? Down there, before you get to the road, you know, going over to Daddy Butler's place and over in there now, the water's backed across the road there sometimes, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Up there on the right side, in some old trees up there, is an old syrup mill. And I used to squirrel hunt up through there. Do y'all remember Daddy whose syrup mill that was?
That was Daddy's certainly.
That was, Did he make syrup for other people?
Oh,
Was that syrup mill there operating the same time as syrup mill over to Maddox's place was?
no,
Had been before.
that was
or
after.
After that.
After that.
Which one was after? Daddy
Daddy's
Butler's?
was after.
Tilden's.
Mr. Burt Hester lived on the place where Cornelia Roof was born
Yeah.
up there at the
Yeah.
time.
I didn't
And
know that.
He made syrup for Daddy around there. And he also, right there in front of where Daddy's house is, and I think y'all remember that, there's a syrup mill right there.
Well, I didn't know that.
was.
Yeah, right
My
in front of Daddy's
goodness.
house. You think no way there now, but there's a syrup mill there.
Yeah.
At
And
the foot of the bank? Before you get to
bank.
the
Yeah.
The syrup mill's up
My
on the bank, the
goodness.
pan was down here. It's free flow down there. Mr. Burt Hester would make the syrup for Daddy down there.
Out there where Daddy Butler's slab pile was, would that have been where the press was or the
Well, it's
the
there where
mill
the road
was?
for it right now.
Well,
Yeah.
It's right there.
that is 3 syrup mills. It wouldn't be total a half a mile apart.
Well,
Quarter
there's another
mile,
one.
some of them.
There's another one. Where Mr. Arthur Cunningham.
Yeah.
Benjamin Cunningham had one there that stayed there for years.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where that is. I know where the Burt Cunningham place
No,
is.
Arthur
Well,
Cunningham.
Okay, now Arthur
You
Cunningham,
go out as you come out from Daddy's there.
where the pavement ends and go on, where
Yeah.
Bernice Cunningham lived
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah.
That's the Arthur Cunningham place.
My goodness, you can
That
see the
mill-
smoke from each other,
That
from
mill
Daddy
was
Butler's to
there
that.
for years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Benjamin.
But you see, everybody had sorghum
Everybody
and
had
ribbon
syrup.
cane. And they had all the syrup they needed.
Well, now, let me ask you this, what were the cash crops again? You mentioned a bale of cotton a while ago.
Cotton was your cash crop.
So y'all had cotton up in there.
Oh, and corn
Yeah,
and
corn.
syrup, both kinds.
Grandpa Butler, I can recall this myself on him. He was one of the better farmers in the country up there.
Had them
Always
orange
talked
gray
about it.
mules.
Now,
Yeah.
now, you
Grant
talk,
Bell.
now, he's
That's-
talking about your daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
And he'd sell seed corn. He'd shuck this
Oh,
corn,
Mom's
pick out
day.
the best ear and shell down, leave on the end, a couple of inches on the end where
Take
the
the
corn gets
little-
little, you know,
Mhm.
little grains. He wouldn't sell that. We'd shell that and give it to the chickens.
Yeah.
But he'd get the good corn, good grains, and sell it to the people over the
Big
community
old
for
flat
seed
grains
corn.
of corn.
So he sold corn for a cash crop then.
Well, yeah.
Seed
Well,
corn.
he sold corn
Seed
and
corn.
cotton. And all
And
kinds.
syrup.
He
and
was, he was
had
kind
more
of a
than-
shifty feller. He kind of, they people borrow money from him. He had some money. They'd borrow money to make a crop. Alpha Lace and them over there used to borrow money. They'd borrow $25 to make a crop on.
Yeah. And then his old boys didn't pay it back.
Yeah, some of them did.
Now, this
No,
is
that's
one
a
of the few
Harton
blacks,
The Hartons
one of
one
the few blacks in the community is Lacey's that they talk
Laces
about.
and Hartons.
And Hartons.
And they always sold.
They come and help kill
Grandpa,
hogs.
they
The
always
Hartons
sold
did.
Grandpa.
So that's the reason Daddy Butler and Alpha Lacey were always, I'm not going
Good
to say
friends.
buddies, but they were
Oh, they're
friends.
good
Well,
friends.
it
My
comes on
land
down
there.
to now. Alpha visit me every week in the store down here.
Well,
My
goodness,
goodness.
he cleaned around the cemetery, and I just enjoyed going to pay
Now,
him.
the person they talking about, Alpha Lacey, this black man that's still coming by and checking on you.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Trades
now,
with me on that.
all right, I used to sell seed, Mary, on the bicycle that one year, and you know I went by that Collins house. And what Collins was that over there toward Alpha Lacey's?
No, not Fulvis.
Oh, Mr. Cullen Collins.
Cullen.
All right, and I can see them sitting on the end of that porch up there, and I stopped and visited with them. That's about the end of where I sold. And y'all know where that house is now? Tanny Hill State Park.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we seen it up there.
We were over there visiting, and I'm telling you, I just
It
shook
got you off
me.
your feet.
I couldn't believe it.
I
So
couldn't make it look much like it. The stairway staggered me.
yeah,
kinda.
but do you know she's still alive visiting that house?
Yeah, she is.
She's
That's
she's in her
Vernon.
90s, living in Tuscaloosa there. And I talked to the man that was teaching printing there when we camped up there last
His
time.
name was Vernon. What was that?
Verdi and Cullen.
And he said, I said, does any of the family ever come back? And he said, she comes back. He's a retired printer himself there at Tanny Hill Park.
For girls,
And
it's still
he said
there.
one day I was teaching these kids, these school kids, and I looked up and there she was. And he called her Miss Verdi or something.
Miss Verdi Collins.
Miss Verdi Collins said she just stood in the door just looking. Watching. And that's her house.
Yeah.
That they had moved all that distance.
Yeah.
Kind of back to what people did though, Daddy, you talking about for cash and Grandpa Butler, your grandfather, though apparently had some means within the community. I mean, he had, if he's loaning money, he was doing better than the people borrowing.
Well,
You know,
Yeah,
he did.
I don't
If
know
they were
Pop
buying
ever had
seed
to borrow
corn, his
much
corn
money.
was
He never
good.
did.
And Lord, the boys worked so good.
And he
See, they
owned
saw.
land.
Oh, I got to tell you another way he had money and give the boys a little, very little, I guess. I thought it took it all to feed us, but anyway, they'd cut wood, stole wood and firewood, and hauled to Vernon.
Yeah.
6 miles from up there to Vernon. Sold to all these big businessmen down here.
That followed through Dad for years. Me and Rolly we got big enough. We would cut stove wood. And Daddy would
Split
haul it to town, and then we'd beg for this and that, you know. And the thing I remember the most was it was in the fall, and he was selling firewood, and we'd always wanted a pair of boots, little rubber boots. And he had promised us so and so a certain time he was going to give us them boots. And when he left with this load, he was going to get them. He was going to get them, Mr. Claremont, Worth Claremont down there. Little rubber boots, just about 10 inches high, you know. And I can still remember it where the little crib is out there now, you know. Me and Rolly, we got out there, I don't know, an hour or two before we got home, I guess, was sitting waiting on him, listening for the wagon coming, you know. We were waiting for them
Y'all were
boots.
anticipating, wasn't you?
Yeah, and he had them when he got there. Now, boy, those boots was something else.
Never have had nothing.
Never have had
no
nothing
more
that
to you.
I
had.
can recall. I was so excited over them boots.
Pair of boots.
Pair of boots. And they were just rubber slip-on boots. They wasn't a
It
lace
wasn't
up boot.
them Sunday looking
No.
kind.
And then we went down to the little creek there in front of the house.
Had to wade the creek
Wade
for
the
sure.
creek. Had to wade the creek.
That's Reed Creek you're talking about. Yeah. But you know, back to that rolling store, something there I want to talk about too, and that is that if y'all bought stuff off that, I know why Daddy Butler didn't meet the rolling store, or
He
what
had
y'all
to be in
call
the
it?
field.
Peddler. He was in the field.
Yeah.
But y'all were too young to be in the field,
No.
possibly.
We weren't too young. We was in the field.
They had to stay in the field.
When they taken that bedpost off my
Coat
dress,
tail.
I was in the field from then on.
Now okay, you went in the field helping your daddy when the peddler came around,
Well,
or
not
could
all
y'all?
the time. See, the peddler
But
come
Lord,
at
they had to
different
chop
times.
cotton and, well, first
Okay,
plant,
it's according to
and
what
then-
was going on with the
Yeah,
planting
according
and
to the season,
everything.
you
Okay,
see.
yeah.
See, in the spring of the year, they had to get the land broke and fixed and the corn stalks
And
cut.
if it's too wet to plow, you're cutting off a ditch bank, or you're down there in the
Sowing
crib
wood.
shucking, shelling corn. We sold the peddler shell corn, you see.
Oh, y'all selling the peddler shell corn?
Oh,
Sell corn and eggs and hens
Yeah.
and roosters.
Look what the peddler did with all the stuff.
Well,
He
had
sold
a
them
market
somebody
out there.
else.
He brought 'em
sold
to town,
somebody
sell 'em
else.
somewhere.
You know, Dad told me one time, he used to go to town and carry the wagon, you know, with this stove was on it. He says, you never go to town after anything that you don't care enough to sell to pay for what you're gonna bring back.
Well, Aunt Susie Robinson always told that too. Uncle
He
Willie's
pretty
wife.
well done that. He'd sell turnip greens, he'd sell
Sweet potatoes.
sweet potato,
He
he'd
sell
ribbon
beans
cane,
and
stalks
peas.
of ribbon cane.
Yeah. He is the first to bring us ribbon canes when he.
Above all that, a lot of them where they had, a lot of folks that have 4 or 5 cows and they would feed all the milk.
Have
butter.
milk and
sell
butter to
milk
sell.
butter.
They sell
Look,
that cow,
mold
milk
that butter.
sell.
Mama did too.
And if that cow didn't give milk that would make good yellow firm butter, that
He's
cow
got
found her
shut
another
up.
home.
Yeah. And Mama, I can see Mama sitting at churning. She put her elbow in her and sat out on the porch and did stuff.
Do you know, I remember churning.
Do you really?
I really do remember churning. I really do.
Yeah, I guess guess so.
I'm fortunate that I'm the oldest of the two oldest. See, Daddy's the oldest in his family, Mother's oldest in her side, and I'm the oldest. And see, I remember not all this stuff, obviously, y'all talking about, but some of the tail end of some of this.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, I remember going with Daddy Butler to the Duckworth to make syrup. And guess where that syrup pan is? It was 20 miles out in the country beyond where I live now, because I talked to the man that made syrup in the same syrup pan
Kidding.
that Duckworth made syrup in. All right, now it's there right there at Northport. But Northport, a Harkness man has it. He got all this old stuff set up. So Duckworth's syrup pan was advertised in Progressive Farmer. This man from way out in the country below us down there below Manville, about 20 miles out there, came to Lamar County one time in his life to get that syrup pan that was advertised. He made syrup and it was too small and he sold it to Harkness.
What?
Interesting,
That's,
isn't it?
amazing,
But I remember
isn't it?
some of that
When
kind of
Aunt
stuff.
Connie was sitting with me up there when I was a baby, Daddy farmed, but he also worked at a steam mill down at Mr. Claude Finch. He worked for
I
Mr.
forgot about
Claude
that.
and Candy. What was
Clinton
it?
Kennedy and
Clinton
Claude
Candy.
Finch.
They own the grist mill, steam mill there on Yellow Creek, right above the Iron Bridge now. And he would ride a mule, from home down there and work all day and go back 50 cents a day.
Now, what would they do down at that steam mill? What would
They
they
cut
do?
logs.
Cutting lumber.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And was that thing there for years and years, or
Yeah.
was that the kind of thing that got moved? Kind of sawmill got moved. Sawmills
No,
got
this
moved.
Steam mill didn't get.
No,
They
Yeah.
don't move them very
I
often.
don't
It
remember
took
that.
motors to be peckerwood sawmills, didn't it? I mean, you had to
that
have
was
engines
later.
to do that.
Steam mill, it was
Ste-
set up
had to
on
have the water.
creek, had to have the water to create
Yeah.
the steam and everything. And there was a cotton gin there also. You gin cotton there.
I hauled cotton one fall and the pickup, but I got to come down here. Here's Mr. Murray Duke.
Yeah, gin right in over the hill.
Mr. Fields would take
And
it
there
off the
used-
truck for
Used
me.
to be a gin there at Crossville, and we could hear it. It was run by a motor, you know, and it chewing. It's like a train.
Well, we was out in the field working.
You could hear it plumb to home.
My goodness, all the way across there.
Yeah.
Boy, it must have been loud to be around it to work.
I guess
Dad
it
let
was.
me and Rolly go with him a few times to that mill over there, to that gin over there. We'd go in a wagon and we'd leave before daylight to get over there real early, knowing it'd be cold, and we'd dig holes and get down in the cotton. So we,
Pop and Mom put a big rock in the wagon and wrapped it up with a quilt or something to keep their feet warm, and I'd lay across their laps, and I remember hearing what Papa said. Mama said, "Oh," he said, "Now, I know I suppose you cooking them biscuits for kind of when the rest of them eat cornbread, and for breakfast the other morning," and said, "We will just not do that anymore. She'll eat cornbread." Boy, I come up and there and look. I said, "Now let me tell you, don't you ever do me that way again. I love my brothers and sisters better than anything in the world, and what they couldn't have, I couldn't have. So I told them, don't never do that anymore. Why, I'd give them every bite I had."
Well, what had happened now is before y'all left the house, so that rock had been put in the fireplace or
I
something?
imagine on the hearth and just got real hot.
And then
it stayed
wrapping the quilt or
a
something?
brown paper or something, and then to hold the heat
where
in,
it wouldn't burn
or a
you.
big blanket.
And now that would be
Just
put in
set
a
your feet on
wagon
it.
and for them to have their feet on or
Uh-huh.
something?
And then they'd have a lap robe over there and had me tucked in under it across their
And this
laps.
would be going to the gin, carrying the cotton to the gin or something, or just period? That's just
No,
what.
Karen, we went all the way to Fayette back then with it loose cotton
Uh-huh.
on that wagon.
You'd have side planks on the wagon. You'd have to get in and pack it to get a bale of cotton, what they call
Yeah.
a bale of cotton, in the wagon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's hard to get in there.
Oh,
Now,
man.
now you're talking about in a wagon. Now you talking about with the mules in a wagon?
Yeah, sure.
I guess you are, because if it was a wagon and a truck, you wouldn't have had the rock back there, would you?
No.
Oh, there wasn't no truck.
So.
Wasn't no such thing as
So-
a truck nor a car, either one.
Grandpa was one of the Grandpa
Second was
Butler
to get a
was
car,
the
yeah.
Second one to ever
Uncle
own
Johnny
a car.
Oates got the first.
And I've heard Daddy tell about they run from where Grandpa lived over there to the highway. They knew that Uncle Johnny was coming down through there in a car to see it.
Yeah, we all, I guess, I might have been too little, but anyhow, we
Oh,
thought
But
that
to see the car come down the road, you know, sit and wait.
They had heard about those
They'd
things.
heard
hadn't
about it, yeah.
they? Ain't that something?
This was a joke, I'm sure, but I always heard Grandpa bought a car one time. It was called a Whippet.
Whip it for us, Lloyd says.
Yeah,
Whip it
full for it. And they said he bought it at Soldier and come home and he didn't know how to stop it and he run through the back of the garage.
Hung it all over.
In other words, you could afford the truck, you could get it. You didn't have to have a license, did you?
Oh, it wasn't no license.
No.
No license. No. I don't guess it was a tag. It was trying to be, and I don't know if it was a tag or not.
I've seen some of the tags, and they were about this wide, and the tape don't recognize this wide, but I'm going to say 4 inches wide, and probably a foot 15 inches long, and they just had a row of big numbers on it. And I've seen some of those tags. Sure have.
Grandpa was a big farmer in his day. He had four to five mules
Yeah.
at all times. And that was unusual. Most farmers had one or had two. And as Grandpa got older and farmed less, that was a gift he made to all his children. Is a mule.
Mule apiece.
Mule apiece. The mule we got was named George.
Is that the one Rolly
Named
plowed to death?
No,
Named after Preacher Vaughn, I
it's
guess.
named after him, I guess. Let's see, there's
Well,
John
Preacher Vaughn's
and
name was George
and-
Vaughn.
George Vaughn.
I don't know what
So let me
all
ask you
the name
this,
was.
Daddy, what you talking about? If those mules were named, are you saying that kind of your daddy named the mules after people in the
Well,
community?
I guess
I
so.
imagine,
People had
because
meant so much to
The best mule he had was named John. I don't know where it was named after somebody or not. But John was the best mule, or that's what I always
Was,
thought.
did that mean he thought a lot of John, or he just
Yeah,
honored his old
he's
John?
the biggest, he is the best mule.
Yeah.
Just like you have two cars out there, one of them better than the other one. But this was the best
So-
mule.
so-
Grant and Bell was his main
Yeah.
iron gray mules.
That
Grant
was
and
his
Bell.
team.
Don't know who he.
I don't know who got them.
So you're
Oh,
saying
man, I know
you're
it.
saying people then sometimes name mules that they work
After-
with after people in the community.
Well, I
guess
don't really know where.
I don't know where it was that or not, but I know. I just figured that's the way Papa
That probably was. Now, we had mules there at home. Me and Rolly had one. I just plow certain mule, and Rolly just plow certain. There's Kate and Emma.
Kate and Emma.
Kate and Emma.
Now one of them came out better than the other. Which one did Rolly plow to death? Was it Kate or Emma?
Well, I don't know where he plowed any of them to death or not, but he
Well, I
plowed.
always
Walden
heard that he
did.
wrote.
We had a pair of iron gray
Walden
mule
hung
and
one of
Walden.
theirs.
He hung one of them to start with. Yeah.
How you hang a mule?
One died in the gear, and he whooped the other, and
Walden
it fell
did.
over in a gully and broke its neck.
Well, I
The
say,
mule wasn't
He like
mine
went-
in Walden just right, so he takes him away from the plow and goes down here and put a chain around his neck and tie him to a tree and gonna whoop him. Well, he didn't think about it. He was right on the bank of this big
He
gully.
just turned over in that gully.
And so when he got out of the mule, he run around the tree and he fell in the gully and he was hanging and he was tight and couldn't get him off. It killed him. And this was a pair of mules a dandy pair of mules.
Well, we
back
got him
then.
with Toby back at us.
in other words,
$100 cracker.
Walton's world was falling apart in a hurry
Well,
there.
he
'Cause
liked to cry himself to
Yeah.
death.
well,
He
I
come
figured
to
like he
Vernon.
got beat to death, didn't he?
No,
No,
Walden was
they
done
didn't.
out on his own.
Oh, he's on his
married.
own.
He was married.
Oh, I
It
thought you were
was-
talking about as a boy. He was.
It was
oh,
his.
okay.
It was our
Frank
mule.
and Aunt Connie's mules.
Oh,
And he lived
Joe's
there
mules.
tending their place.
Oh.
He come-
Okay,
And he
that's-
lived with us.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
he
I
didn't
see.
then.
No, he
Because
moved
Jimmy
up
never
there
was
in
married yet.
Now I remember when they used to live. You talking about down there at Belden Woods' house? There used
Right
to be
up
a
this
house
side of
on the
Belden's
other
over
side
there.
of the road there.
Well, that's where
I
everybody
remember.
else was.
I remember us
family.
visiting them when they lived right there beside that road.
So that Walden come to Vernon and got $100 bill, or Vernon gave it to him, and come back. And that $100 bill to Frankie said, "Why, Walden, you come and help it." He said, "I can't live with myself if you don't make that $100." So Vernon gave him $100 to pay for it.
So that's how he got over it.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, he was
said
able-
He
He had
could
to
get
pay
over
for
it
it.
when
If he hadn't have done that, he never would have gotten over
He
it.
had to pay for it.
I mean, really.
He said that he just done wrong. One of the mules would turn before he got to the end, and he'd done whooped it, I think. No, it just fell dead. He didn't whip that.
Plow.
Plowed
Right,
it.
middle buster, and he plowed out.
Got it too
at
high.
night. Then between sundown and dark, he drove him out to the side of the barn, stopped him. This is top. You fell dead.
In the heart, it's
Right
scary.
there in the arms.
Huh.
He cried so about that, but when he killed that other one, or caused it to get killed, he hadn't got that $100.
Well, let me ask you this. Now we was talking about Harrison a while ago, which is my great
Your great
granddaddy. Do you know anything about any brothers or sisters that he had?
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't believe I know much about Grandpa Butler, as far as family is concerned. we just went to see him a lot, I remember, in the way.
I can't ever recall anything Daddy would make mention. Actually, great grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one time somebody told me, and Daddy, it may have been you, that the land was tended all the way from where Grandpa, Claiborne Pooh Butler's house was, all the way to where my grandfather's house, Clady Butler's house was, that all of that big hill down through there, all of that was tended. Do y'all know where that's right now?
Well, I can remember it all being tended with the exception of a strip right there on
Strip
the
of
foot of
pines
woods
down there.
place. On that hill right there on the right as you go down, there's a scope right in there I don't ever recall being tended.
I guess it was, going down on the right there.
But the rest of it was.
Okay. You talking about that above where the syrup mill was below the road, kind of up above there, or on back?
Oh, you talking? No, wait a minute. I was reading it
Okay,
wrong.
no, the land I'm talking about is where I have the camp house now. Or you take that land right there out in front of Daddy Butler's and head back to his daddy's house. All the
Well,
way.
Yeah,
that's
Through the
what I was
woods.
talking about.
Yeah.
All that except on the side of the hill up there, coming down the hill before you get where you turn to go to Burns Marston's there on the right. There's a little scope there. I don't ever remember being
And then you-
cultivated there.
Must
dig
have been a
up-
wet spot or something.
No.
Wasn't
No, it
far
was
from
dry,
wet. Dry and
rocky,
rocky.
and
rocky.
big old rock.
Hardwood in there. It never did grow
I don't know.
timber, nothing much.
Oh, it was on up on top of the hill, you know, there where the old barn used to.
Side of the first tape, and this is tape number 2, side 1. And we talking about tending land, and for you that don't know, let's listen to this tape. Tending land is farming land. They tended to it, and they grew stuff with it and made it produce. So that's what we were talking about. Now your mother, Ari Oaks.
Ari Oaks,
Now, is she from the community there? Is she
Yeah.
some of the Oakses there?
She's just over there at the highway going towards Crossville.
A.P. Oaks place there.
Yeah,
At A.P. Oaks' place.
Yeah.
Well, Grandpa's was on the left.
Place there on the left.
it was Grandpa's.
going
Matt
toward
Oaks'
A-
place.
Going towards AP, just
Okay.
before we get to AP's old home place there on the left.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then Grandpa Butler then was growing up there
Close
around the oil well, the Tate place.
to,
You call it-
Oaks place.
Esther Oaks-
Blackjack.
Blackjack.
We called it.
Blackjack.
School at
There's
Blackjack.
Blackjack School there.
Right on top of the hill.
Daddy has went to school there.
Yeah.
We never did.
So, Claiborne Pooh Butler grew up there at Blackjack.
Yeah.
And he met and married Ara, A-R-A?
Ari.
Ara.
Ari
Oaks.
Oaks.
And she lived
Right.
about,
Where Jerry Oaks' house is, Banks, is
Yeah.
where Mama.
That's
Okay.
what she was.
Uh-huh.
and then they settled right in there.
They just went over the road about
Uh-huh.
a mile
Her
or
place
3/4.
joined where she was born and raised there.
Mama got a 40-acre block in there. Next in front of Oka Johnny's. You remember the Briar Field?
Yeah,
Banks?
yeah.
We had all of our fields named Briar Field.
Well, now Daddy was
Hot dog,
mentioning that to me one
Oh,
time
yeah.
about every.
Hot Holler and Willie McNeese
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And so we had them all named.
Yeah.
And Papa
We
told us
used
where
to
to
have
go.
Have one, the Candy Patch.
Candy
It's called the Candy Patch.
What in the
Yeah.
world? How did he get the name Candy
I have no
Patch?
idea, but Dad would sign us out, me and Rolly, where to go and work. And Burt New Ground and the Candy Patch, Big Field, all kind of places. Hot Holler, Lower Bottom.
So that's how you knew where to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know where to go.
Every field was named.
Daddy, do you
Julian
remember?
Holler.
Let me ask you this now. As you grew up as a boy, do you remember new ground being cleared, or did y'all pretty well
Oh,
tend
yeah.
places that was already?
And I was the one that was growed up when they was clearing
And
new
Burt,
ground.
what we call the Burt New Ground, they cleared all that. There's about 5 acres in that, I guess. And they cleared all that. And it was on a real steep grade.
Over Preacher Cunningham's, that we'd have a big meal. The
Log
women
road.
would cook and the men would cut logs, wasn't it? Or-
Yeah, and burn them.
And burn 'em. Burn all
these
them good
sticks.
trees back then.
what do you call them, a frame?
Those
that's
log rollers?
Log rolling sticks or something?
Yeah, they got a name.
They go and get
They had
under the
another
log, the
name,
man
seemed
get on
like.
this side, the man on this side, and they log didn't get too big. They just get enough of men on each side.
They
to
roll
carry
it.
And
then
stick a match to them.
put it in a pile and burn it.
That just sounds terrible.
And you're talking about with a cross-cut saw is the way these trees was cut, obviously, because
Yeah.
for the purpose of the tape, we wanted you
Somebody
to know that
ride
they didn't
one
have
in.
power saws back then.
I've heard
Yeah.
Cousin Icy, when they lived over there at the place that you got now, there in the bottom in front of Daddy's, when that was being cleared, Cousin Icy would say they cleared it. She was a kid then, you know, herself. That it was just, they just be tushes out there. You know, you had to be careful how you walked. You couldn't walk across that bottom. There'd be holes in quicksand or that kind of things, you know. And they finally got it cleared, ditched it, and put blind ditches in all of it, and dried it up.
Killed and Maddox killed. He was there working
Yeah,
at that
he
mill.
did.
Now, Daddy, you before we leave blind ditches, I know what it is, but these people listening to this tape may not know what a blind ditch is.
Well, you would dig a ditch where you had a wet thing and didn't want to leave an open ditch. You'd dig the ditch and put you about 3 logs in there, stack them on top of each other, and then cover them back up. And that the water could run through them logs where they was stacked, you see. And then you'd have an outlet, a main ditch. You'd tail them little ditches into it and you'd drive that wet spot you had.
Any certain kind of log went in those ditches?
Yeah, whatever.
Just whatever was
Whatever
handy.
handy.
Whatever was handy. And they have been, I dug those ponds that's in there, had them dug, and dug up some blind ditches that I'm sure the logs was 50 or 75 years, maybe 100 years old. And it's just as hard as
Solid as it could be.
The day they was put in there.
Because the air didn't get to
Air
them,
didn't get to them, they seal and they just stay there. for years.
Waterlogged.
Waterlogged.
I've seen folks go to sawmill, get slabs.
Fix
put 'em in the ditches,
blind
go
ditches
run
out.
for blind.
Did you realize that people listening to this tape won't know much about what slabs are?
No. And it's
And you know, it
timber,
used to be a way of
pine
life.
timber.
I mean, it was what you heated your house with and everything else. You know, I mean, slab piles were around these little sawmills that cut the timber around the
Well,
country.
it was, you'd put the log on the carrot and you'd bark it. I mean, that is a slab, where you get the bark off and around it and get it squared up where you can make your lumber.
Mm.
The size of your tree, you'd square it, say 8 inches or 10 inches or whatever size the tree was. Get 4 sides to it instead of round. And then you start cutting your lumber, you see.
And you see, I remember even as a boy, the sawdust piles are still going to be around for some people that's listening to this tape. But I'm going to tell you, I remember that there's 2 things there. There was a sawdust pile and there was a slab pile rotting when I was a little boy growing up. They were both at these sites where these little, we call them peckerwood sawmills. I guess they moved
That's all
from
that's
place
left
to
now,
place.
is a peckerwood sawmill. Your sawmills is upgraded, so you're talking about having a sawdust pile. You don't have that at a mill now. They haul chips. They chip these logs and they haul chips to these paper mills. They use everything. All they lose
they
is
don't-
noise.
That's a good point. Now, in the future, the people listening to this tape won't know necessarily what we're talking about when we're talking about a sawdust pile, and it's just as
Yeah,
common
they
to
won't.
us.
No,
That's
it's
nearly a thing of the past now.
Yeah.
We played in a menu with sawdust pile, my goodness.
Back then, you'd pick your finest trees to cut lumber. Now they cut anything they come to because they
Yeah.
chip them.
Yeah.
Most of these stuff is chipped.
On the mill, I know of around here, or now, depending on the boy out here.
He's got one out.
Boy, he
County
come
Lake
through
Road,
there
yeah.
with
Yeah.
trees, logs.
But I remember Daddy where the J.B. Morrison, I'm getting his name right, over at the Deal Place, Bernice Morrison. The Deal Place there. I remember when that place was cut. After you bought that place, you know, those people worked that with mules. This was the day before, obviously there wasn't such a thing as a skidder back then, and they had those old big Belgium mules or something. Horses, and
They still got that here, Dan. They two guys in this community now still got horses. That log with horses.
One
Elmer Harris. over
Elmer
here.
Harris, yeah.
He logs. They people won't sell to other people. They'll let them machines in on their land.
because it tears up the
It
stuff
tears up
so bad.
Oh, Jerry never will get over his daddy selling the timber on our place. He said, "Now, Daddy, we didn't need that money. I wish you hadn't done it." He said, "I wouldn't have had that beverage machine in there for nothing."
My boy Jamie,
And it
as a
was
young
right that
fella,
way.
riding up down the road, he'd say he'd never do that to land.
But you know, I have known.
Let him keep us saying that.
You speak of land and Blackjack. I'll just use it for instance. Blackjack was named had a reason to be named Blackjack. It was a high rocky hill in Blackjack timber.
Yeah.
Blackjack Oaks.
Where Blackjack oak grows, they won't nothing else grow. And it's not worth a hill of beans. So
Just the
people
whole
used
world
to think
together.
the whole world together. Today at Blackjack is the best oil wells there are in Lamar County. Gas and oil wells sitting on Blackjack.
Yeah.
Best ones in the
Over at
county.
the Grandpa Butler
Right.
place,
They're all over
how
that
many
place.
oil wells have they had
I
over in
don't
there?
know, but they've got them all
Yeah.
over the place now. Where we said the land wasn't worth nothing, but the whole world.
And you
together.
talking about back where a man worked himself to death down in a boggy bottom, digging ditches and putting logs in it to drain it out. Like you say, worked himself to death, really, to dry it out where he could plow it and farm it.
Yeah.
And now they drill a hole down.
And get oil.
Wealth
and
is
gas.
down there
We
anyway.
Most
got
of
one
these
on our
wells-
place. We got
Yeah.
a new gas place.
Most of these wells will come out on the side of the hill somewhere where it never was farmed or something. It wasn't fit to farm. It was too steep. You couldn't do nothing with it. And they level off and drill that well. They pinpoint
That's
them wells.
interesting.
They don't find a smooth place to put the well down.
They search it out.
They search it out.
Damn, it's pretty good, isn't
Now,
it?
you can see some up yonder. I'll
Oh,
show
yeah.
you that you wouldn't believe how they ever got in there to drill a well.
Yeah. Do y'all remember talking about making syrup? Do y'all ever remember going to a grist mill
Yeah.
to get your
Man, them
meal?
mills all
Oh,
over down
just
this
right,
creek over
the
here.
Morton old mill.
I remember Morton Mill over here at the Yellow
Yeah,
Creek.
you remember that.
But now there's another there's a Price Crossing up there below
that's below
Blackjack,
Rex.
down the hill
Yeah.
from Blackjack.
But
Now,
there wasn't no grist mill there.
it's just called Price Crossing. Do you know how those places got those names?
Well, that's a Price place. It's
So-
Austin. We call it now the Austin Tate place.
Yeah.
But before that, there's
It
some
was
man
Price.
lived there, and when the road was put across, probably
They
it
keep
was
knowing.
named Price.
Uh-huh.
Used to be the awfulest sand bed coming up that hill. We'd stop.
I've
and
heard
go
Dad
look.
tell about him, Mama. Well, all of us that was there at that time would go to Grandma Stanford. And he had a T-Model car,
Had to
and
push
it
it.
wouldn't pull the hill going up it. Had to turn around back up the hill. It was stouter in reverse
So,
than it was in
so y'all did go across Price Crossing when you were a child going to
That's
Antioch.
huge, yeah.
Yeah, mhm, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go the same way now as we did then, except when you get to Fairview, we went up towards Beaverton, turned right, and went up through there. Yeah, that road, we don't go that way anymore.
I crossed that Price crossing there one time myself in a 39 Chevrolet pickup truck. And the water was so high, you know, it got in the floorboard truck my life.
And you made the cross.
And Uncle Hardy lost a pair of mules going across there. I believe they both drowned, didn't
Is that right?
they? They
Well, let me
just-
ask you something. I was up
Wagon.
visiting a couple of years ago, and I was up checking on the farm. That's going for the purpose of the tape. That's called Tilden Maddox Place. Tilden Maddox Place, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levi Maddox place.
Levi Tilden.
Tilden, come on
yeah.
down.
And when you said cousin Icy a while ago, that's one of the Maddox girls.
Yeah, that's
Uncle
Tilden's
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 sister.
Levi's girl.
sister. Okay, yeah. But anyway, you know, I was down there in the bottom checking to see where those pine trees were. We'd set out where they were growing and on. And I looked up there at the road. I heard a vehicle coming, and looked up there, and a little red pickup came over there, and did a mailbox and turned around and went back. And I went back to something I remember as a child. Is not much happening out there, but that mailman came down the road every day, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I remember some of the old folks talking about, you know, that being a regular check. You know, that was a good job. Carrying the mail has been a good job a long time.
Good paying
Oh, it's
job.
always
And they got a regular check, and you know, everybody else is out there working with the cash crops, and until that crop came in, they didn't have any money.
No,
Well,
some people didn't
Your
have
farm
it.
got to be in where the government stepped in a little bit and helped the farmers a little. They got well, they put a limit on how much cotton you could plant, how many acres. You had a allotment on each farm.
That's right.
And then they come up with this rental check. They would pay you
Not to grow.
not to grow something, and that's still in effect today. You see in a lot of your
So
farm areas.
some of these farmers started getting the government check not to
Well,
plant.
this was in later years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
back
have remembered Daddy plowing up cotton. Paid you so much to plow up your cotton. Not pick it. It would open. Some of it was so far along here, the oak matter is plowed up, but you weren't supposed to pick
Wasn't
it.
allowed to pick it.
No.
Huh.
Government pay you so much an acre.
Of course, down in the fellowship communities where, out there in the fellowship communities,
Oh,
what
want
we're
Coke
talking
or
about.
something?
No,
Or
no.
make a pot of
Okay.
coffee?
No, ma'am. No.
Well, be glad to.
Now,
Out there in the country, talking about the fellowship community out there, going to school, you know, I'm in the school business, so school gets kind of interesting to me. Hey, Connie, you went to school where?
Morton Chapel.
Morton Chapel.
The road that leaves the church and goes down by the Uncle Frank McGill place,
Now,
where Daddy used to
Yeah, he
own
knows
up
what
there.
it is.
I know where Morton Chapel is.
Yeah.
It's where the church is, and been in bad repair. Over next Frank
Yeah,
Spain.
but no, the school
School
wasn't
wasn't there.
Back this side, let's see, back.
Well, just beyond the Frank McGill place, the McGill house, you know where it was at.
I remember the McGill down at the foot of the hill. I used to carry milk over. The McGill sisters on the other side. John Patterson's over there. John
Christian.
Christian.
John Christian.
Yeah, and then the McGill sisters down there.
Then you go on the next road, turns to the right. went down
Goes
the
to
Hartsville.
all these
Hartsville
Wheelers.
Citizens, right.
Hartsville
Yeah.
Citizens.
Yeah.
Right back this side is where the school stood.
Yeah.
Before you get to where the road turned down.
Yeah.
No, you turn down the road and it's, don't you banks after you
Yeah,
leave the main
that's
road,
right.
and it's the first, it's in a
It was on the left side after you
right
turned down.
side after you turn.
Right side on
before
the edge
you
of
get
Holler
to
down there.
Ollie D. Wheelers.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, and then Hartsville's is on down on the right, you know.
Yeah.
The end of the road now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we walked 3 miles every day. I helped Minnie's finger till I nearly wore it out.
Now, y'all walked over there to school every day.
Every day.
Did the road go as it does today, or was it y'all cut across there somewhere?
Oh, I believe we must have just went that road.
The road pretty well, yeah.
Well, I guess we went across the field up to the main road,
Main
you know.
road you went across the field, but how you got to the main road, you followed it on
Just
down to
followed
the
it.
church and on around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the road went down.
Now, pretty well though. The children back then went to school, what, 3 or 4, 5 grades, and you know whatever the school
Yeah,
in the local
let's
community
see.
is pretty well it.
I cried and didn't want to stay in my class, so I stayed in Minnie's class about the 8th and 9th grade. And
Well,
there's different places and different rooms, you know.
well, let me ask you this now. That name of that school is Morton Chapel School.
Morton Chapel.
Morton Chapel School.
And Miss Vanny McGill was one of the teachers, and Mr. Lewis Young was one of them. And Miss Kitty and Miss Icy Graves. It's just made up of the settlement, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
So the fellowship school was not there at that time.
No,
y'all had to go
it was,
down there.
they just had it at church that time, but Gray didn't know it was on that picture I showed you.
Now, what kind of grades did Morton Chapel School have in it?
From first to 9th, I guess.
Yeah, and that's pretty well all anybody went to school back then, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Later on, some of them went on to Vernon School. I cried, went to Vernon School 2 days and didn't want to ride the bus, and I come home and cried, and I didn't have to go.
So there was a bus running up in there to take.
After,
That was
on
way
later
later.
years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I started at Morton Chapel.
But then when the bus worked in Morton Chapel, I mean, the bus would come to Morton
No.
Chapel and pick up the high school kids and carry them on to Vernon. That's probably the way it was.
No, they didn't then.
No.
They just, when they got through with their
That's
schooling
all
at
school
Morton
you got.
Chapel, they got to
That was
Vernon
it.
another way. Some
Yeah.
of them walked.
Uh-huh.
It was, no buses back then.
In the 20s before
Any buses.
any buses ever started in 20-sometime.
Now I remember us living up there above the church, and you having some cows, milk cows, and me carrying milk over there to the McGills. And I've told Mary this 100 times, I guess. And those old ladies really looked forward to seeing me. Now that would be Miss Danny McGill.
And Miss Carrie, they never did marry.
Okay, the 2 old maid school teachers.
And
Well,
Uncle Frank and Aunt.
were both of them school teachers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and when I got over there, they'd always have that apple pie made, you know.
Fried apple pies.
No, deep dish, and it. You know,
cobbler pie.
yeah. And then so I'd carry them the milk. I'd get to eat the pie, and then when I got through the pie, I'd get to go to the front room and pedal that old organ and play.
Yeah. Yeah. I spent the night with them if it was a bad night.
Yeah, is
I
that
went to
right?
Morton Chapel. Or to stay at Uncle Ben Collins is one. To keep from walking that 3 mile.
So they take
Reason to-
they take care of the children that live so
They-
far from school. They're at their
Yeah.
house, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. And Uncle Ben and Aunt Molly did too. And the school teachers always boarded at Uncle Ben and Aunt Molly Collins. Miss Kitty Graves, Miss Ice, and Miss Sonia. And then them 2 girls was school teachers. We just had a lot of school
Well, now I remember
Mitty
talking
Ginn
about
made a school teacher.
The McGills there. I remember that they were on the end of the telephone line, and they let me turn that handle, you know.
Now, Aunt Connie got more schooling than a lot of them did. She was on later, you see.
That's right. You were the youngest. That's right.
Yeah.
One of them didn't get a chance to get as much schooling as she got.
No.
Now, what about those older boys in the family, Grady and Noe?
Grady and Noe
No.
and played in many, you know, and Clarence was ahead of me.
Yeah. Now,
That's
those
me.
older boys, now, did they get much schooling?
Well, now that was them two that I showed you in that little
Yeah.
picture. Grady and Noe. They got started off there at that little school in the church.
Well, I believe they went
But-
to Spring Hill. Was it Spring?
Well, I went to Spring Hill. I finished up to 7th grade. Me and Benner
Yeah.
Corbett at Spring Hill.
Yeah.
Now, where's
After I
Spring
went-
Hill?
Well, it's back on the Fed Highway, old Fed Highway now. You know where Benton,
Henry Benton.
lived,
Up on a hill.
Brooks Perkins,
Oh, I should know Brooks Perkins. now.
in the steep curve over there.
And right out in a little
Right out,
flat then.
Little flat place there. There's a schoolhouse stood
Oh,
there.
just a
Mm.
school. Yeah.
But so what was happening? Did Morton Chapel close down, and you have to go on somewhere else to go
Uh-huh.
get those other grades?
I could ride the bus and go to Vernon School, but I went 2 days and
She just didn't like it.
I
Too
didn't
far.
want
But
to.
ain't kind of what I'm
It
talking
won't
about.
be
You went to
fun.
Morton Chapel, and then you went to Spring what?
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill. Why did you go to Spring Hill instead of continuing on at Morton Chapel?
Well, they couldn't. We was through all. They done shut it down.
They shut it down.
Shut it down, and you
Mhm.
had to go to Vernon or ride the bus to Vernon.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to. And
So you stopped going to
I
Vernon and
quit
went
in
on over
7th
there.
grade. Yeah,
Okay.
I graduated in the 7th grade.
Uh-huh.
7th grade. I,
Well, I wonder about, like, now, really, back to
didn't
these older
graduate.
boys in your family. Like Grady and Noah. I wonder how many grades were offered there at Fellowship.
they might have went to school somewhere else. I reckon they did go to Collins School, what we call that night. Went to the last
Yeah, Spring
Collins
Hill.
or Spring Hill.
Yeah, I think they went some
I
there.
think
I've
they
heard
did.
They just talk about it.
But that was, you see, they was older than me, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
remember them going. That was just when they was little bitty fellers, you know.
Yeah.
And they all, back when they first went, Uncle Grady and Daddy and them first went to go in there, all the classes was in the same room.
Yeah.
It was one room building. And they just had different ages, they'd have them in the same room. You know?
Now, did
Maybe
they just
one or
have
two
some
teachers.
woman from the neighborhood there that's pretty good at school and be the teacher? They didn't have necessarily just.
No.
Qualified teachers, no.
They
And I had an aunt Rachel, on my mother's side.
Mm.
She was a school teacher. She just finished 8th grade.
I remember her.
But she had a certificate.
Yeah,
you
you-
could take
you
a
got a
test to get a certificate.
Yeah, I think you had to go to the courthouse to
You
take that,
could,
didn't you? Take a test or
Get a
something.
certificate, a teaching certificate, if you could pass it,
Michigan did that, I
and
think.
teach. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you didn't have to graduate. You just
Well, y'all, I know we can sit here all day, and I've enjoyed, and I've heard some new things. I wonder what else we need to put on this tape.
Well, just start out if you can think of anything, if we can help you any.
Well, for the old place that you own up there now, that was the
That was
the highlight of the community, kind of.
It
It was
really
always
was.
fixed up the best. That house was the better one in the
Mhm.
community.
Okay,
And
right.
also, that was the place where the churches come in. They had a pond down here, and they'd have
That's
baptized.
where I was baptized.
That's where all people were baptized in the
Lord.
community.
Oh,
And
now, I
all
didn't know
seven-
this. Now, where was the pond there on my place that was baptized?
Still down
Across the
there.
ditch over there?
Still down
Well,
there.
child, it's still
And that
there.
Well, I'll
You
declare.
keep it cleaned up.
And that was as
It's across the ditch over there. What
fine
you
a
talking about?
place as you'll ever see. It was fixed up. It had benches around it. Man,
And
when-
out
Because
of
there's a
the-
road that went right above it there.
Out under the trees, they had little benches made,
Yeah.
best I remember.
and I can just see Cousin George now walking out in there.
So George
Uh-huh.
Vaughn, the preacher.
Yeah, and he
Uh-huh.
had,
Baptized.
Yeah.
Well, Preacher Burks. There's
Oh.
a bunch of them.
yeah,
And,
I believe Brother Burks baptized me, and
I
a
was
whole
baptized
bunch.
over there in that too.
And
After we married.
My goodness.
Yeah, he-
So now y'all telling me something I didn't know.
And
I remember
just think
when
you own that now.
I tell you what, I don't know what I'm gonna do. When I visited them one time with cousin Icy and cousin Philip, the front room was sealed. Nice warm room, and they had these big posters on the wall.
Calendars and
yeah,
all.
Yeah,
be
great
a
old big one.
7-up girl, you know, on that.
Well, that was your decorations.
But anyway, I remember, maybe it's that time, but I remember going over these ponds you're talking about, and the first pond I got to there had broken. The levee had broken there,
Yeah,
and they had
yes,
come
sir.
back in there and poured concrete and all, and I remember the sun shining down in there, and I remember seeing the fish swimming right in front of that, and that's the first time I saw fish, you know, of any size, beside those little creek
Yeah.
minnows down there. And then later on, when we got the place, when we moved down there, Daddy, you cleaned that up around over there, and we got water back in that lower of the two ponds some sort of way. And I can,
there.
well, I can remember you reworked that something, and it was as muddy as a hog wallow. But we thought we were uptown because it was chest deep on me. That water out there was.
You see, they had two ponds.
Right.
They had a petition between them, and they had just a little breezeway, so to speak. One, the upper pond feed the lower pond. You had a walkway over there.
Okay, that's why that was
And you fished the upper
open.
pond.
Uh-huh.
It had lilies and things in it.
Yeah.
You had
Right.
fish. Of course,
Uh-huh.
the fish could go in the other pond, but you didn't fish down there. That was a swimming. You went
Swimming
swimming
pool or
baptized down
baptized.
So the second pond is where the baptizing took
there. Yes.
place.
And Uncle
How
Frank,
about that?
no, not Uncle Frank, Uncle Shell Hankins is having baptized one time. I can just hear Papa telling it. I'll have to tell you this. He's walking that little walkway, you know, and had on an overcoat. It's cold, but it was having a baptizing. Papa said, and he was walking across there, and he stumbled or something and fell in.
That had to be the funniest thing everybody ever seen.
Yeah, had that
Oh,
overcoat. And Papa said Uncle Shell got up and shook himself a little bit. He said, well, it wasn't so rotten funny.
But it was cold, wasn't it?
It
But
wasn't
for
so
everybody
rotten
else, it was
either.
funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the clown.
Everybody was laughing, and he said it wasn't so rotten funny.
But talking about those ponds, and if that was a baptizing hole for what? The whole community right there?
Fellowship Church.
Fellowship Church
I
is the only one
I
I
reckon
know.
that's all that I knew.
But,
You mean they had to go that far to find enough water to baptize people in?
oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know what else have a
Well,
pond.
nobody had a pond.
Was that Uncle Levi's at the time?
Time they'd go to
Yeah.
the creek
That
or
was
the river or what.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard Mama
Oh.
telling about Preacher Vaughn baptized in the creek down there.
Reed Creek.
Reed. Well, I don't remember where Reed or where.
No,
it was,
Yellow
but anyway,
But
Yellow
these
Creek.
was from Shiloh that he was baptized
Yeah.
at this time, and he'd put his hand up here, you know, ready to baptize, and said what he was supposed to say, and had to step back, you know, to
step in
He
deep
stepped
water.
put him on, and he
Sink hole.
stepped in the sink hole, went over his head, and his hat just floating down.
Well, it's a terrible thing to put on tape, but if you talk about Yellow Creek over there below the bridge at the
yeah.
baptizing hole, that's where we used to swim. You know, when we didn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
it was shallow enough, and I
We carried
remember.
our kids to go wading. They didn't know how to swim.
Well, I remember being down there with my mother's two brothers, Wilbur and Davis Thomas, and I
That's
remember
dangerous.
mother and my grandmother Thomas coming down. You could hear them coming in the car up yonder, come across the busting those old planks, you know, popping and cut across the bridge, just easy across, and pull over that. Of course, we could see all this, and we knew we had it. They came to the creek to get us, and of course, we were swimming in what had been the old baptizing hole. And I remember mother with her hands on her hips telling me to come on, and we kept on listening to her, and we didn't respond, and she just got stomping mad up there on that bank. And we told her, said, "Now we're not going to come unless y'all go back to the car, 'cause we were skinny dipping that creek."
Wasn't gonna come out like that, was it?
Let me ask you this, talking about those one many ponds, and there's a baptizing hole over there where the camp house is, Tilden and Levi Maddox's place. How was that pond dug if people didn't have a
By
bunch of...
hand.
By hand.
Slip scrape.
Slip scrape.
Mule and slip scrape.
Mhm.
Use a pair of mules.
That's why everybody didn't have a pond.
Well,
That's
didn't
a lot of
everybody
work.
have water?
Didn't everybody have water? As far as where your place was, where you had water.
Because everybody's drawing water back then at home, probably.
Had a well.
Yeah.
Dug it out of a well. Or,
A man
we
dug
had to
well.
go to the spring.
Yeah.
Half a quarter, wasn't it, Bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Told it when
I remember that at Grandpa's place. I can remember this. Grandpa had right at the end of the house, east end of the house, had a well dug. And I forget how deep. It was pretty deep. But anyway, I don't know where we ever got water out of there or not. But anyway, he dug it. In later years, that thing caved out. I've heard Uncle Grady tell about it. Uncle Clarence wondered how big it was down in there. Said you could turn a wagon around.
I'd heard
Down
him
in
say
there,
that.
it caved out, you know, and filled up and caved out
Mm.
under there. And finally, they filled the well up. But I don't think they ever got water.
Been too dangerous to left open one.
Water out of that, I would dig that.
Did
I think it dug it 90 feet deep.
No water.
Y'all went down in the well and digging it 90 feet deep. What have you ever looked up from the bottom of one of those wells, see what it looks like?
What did it look like? A little,
Little peak hole up
about
there,
that
yeah.
big up there when you look out of it.
Yeah.
What-
Everybody done
what was
that.
that
Dug their
man
well.
Daddy used to dig wells for people, and he prayed for him went away. Mr. Moodon. Mr. Montgomery did people he dealt down and prayed.
I ain't understand
That's
why the
Lord-
man pray before you go down there.
Well, you know, that was something though you never heard of hardly.
Oh, no.
Accident happened.
I was going to ask you if anybody, y'all ever remember anybody
Never
in the
heard of
community
nobody
that
getting
got-
killed that way. Just don't reckon.
The
But he
worst thing
prayed. The
happened.
Lord took care of him. I'll
The
tell
worst
you
thing
that.
that happened in the community up there was a fella jumped in the well, and nobody knew it.
Julian Oaks, my first cousin.
Yeah. And he jumped in the well,
drowned himself?
killed himself,
Mhm.
and nobody knew it till 2 or 3
That's the
days.
saddest thing.
Yeah. And he used to live with us for years. I mean, he
I forgot he did
people
work for
had-
your daddy, didn't he?
people had hard hands. Daddy always, Clyde Wood, Julian, and Clyde Turner. Different ones would live with us 2 or 3 months in a year,
And
you know, help
Franklin,
make
he
a
did
crop.
too.
Oh, Franklin did.
And he-
then they'd help gather the crop.
Frank said he went where he could get something good
Yeah.
to eat. And Lou seen that he had plenty to eat.
Worked, we did it, in other words, Howard and Clay did, well, Kelly Perkins' crop up there.
Yeah.
They just get half of it. And, Howard, he didn't want to go through with it. And he's going to Florida and trap.
That's Mama's brother.
He said, I tell you, Frank, if you go down there and help play together that crop, I'll give you my part of it. You can have what you get out of it. I come down there on Sunday, the 5th Sunday in August of 1930. And me and Clady started out Monday morning, first night we done, grabbed up the cross-cut saw and went up there on the hillside, cut down a pine tree and sawed it up to stovewood length blocks, split it for stovewood. Then we went on the field together to pull fodder. And we worked there, we gathered 13 bales of cotton that year, and 3,000 bundles of corn tops and fodder, and made up 3 crops of cane.
Sorghum and ribbon cane.
Sorghum, 1 patch of sorghum, and then 2 patches of ribbon cane. And we got all that. At that time we was gathering the Perkins crop, and Clady's crop that he made himself. And we got all of that done in about 3 months. We was around 3 months getting all that done. And after that, then I said, Clady, I said, well now, we've got through with the crop, got shed of it. You see what we've got left now. I got $4. I had $4.
He must have charged the meals out to you, did he?
That's right.
No, he
Well, now,
He got it.
Too soon to see if it's recording. Let's see. Okay, Uncle Franklin, you was talking about my grandfather. You still owed him board. This is
Yeah.
tape 2 side 2.
he said, well, you can just
Stay on with
stay
it.
on, work a help me around. Said we'll just have a big time here. Just go ahead and work, stay around. Said you get your board while you're working this time. And I worked around there about 3 months for him, paid for that 3 month board. Cutting wood, ditching, everything, just anything
That they
need
was
to be
to
done. And they
playing with them kids.
clean up some of the field, clean those corn stalks up, cut them, pick them up, burn them, then get them out of the way so we can tear up the land, plant the cotton, corn, that. And cut wood too.
Did you ever get out of debt too?
Yeah, I got out of debt.
He didn't charge him nothing, go
Back then, he didn't, what was done wasn't really paying no dividends for,
Mm-hmm.
He was just a working.
in the way of paying board, but it was helping him out to start a crop for that next year.
Now, were you already married to his sister, Aunt
No,
Connie,
no,
then?
I hadn't married
That's
yet.
where we,
He wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
that's the reason I got,
You see, that's what Daddy got him into.
That's what Howard and Clay got me.
You know I'm scared to say anything right here, afraid I'll say it wrong.
I don't think you
We'd
can
go
go back here.
We'd go fishing, he'd Clay fish, He's bad fisherman. We go fishing. We go on Reed Creek and fish. We go a lot of nights.
Well, he
After dark,
went
we
fishing
go and
tonight. He
go
was
down
staying
there,
up
sit
Joe
on the
Thomas's
creek
there
bank,
after you left
fish.
today.
Come back,
And they said,
go to
"Oh,
bed. Maybe the next day you think about, well, let's go to Subs, and I'll go up Subs a little bit.
I think
Maybe
they just had a
catch
good
mules,
time.
hook them up to the wagon, drive up to Subs and back.
My goodness.
Around in Fort in the settlement you want to go. He said, well, he said, we ain't got much to do today. I don't know much I want to do. He said, I want to carry you over to Joseph Bowman's.
Well, right here is a piece about Mr. Joseph Bowman. I want y'all to read it.
He's got a bunch of horses, mules over there. Said, we'll just go over there. Said, we'll go catch them little old mules.
He just
We'll
loved
ride
Joseph.
them over there. We go got mules rode over there. Went over there on Joseph. He was down at the lot with his horses. And these great big horses, about 7 or 8 of them out there in the lot. He's out there and he said, well, lady said, look, Joseph, what you doing? He said, oh, I'm out here talking to my stock. Talking to these horses and mules. He said, yeah, get down, come on, tie your mule. Come on in here, I want to show you my horses. We were out there in that barn lot. He'd walk up to one and he'd walk up the back of it and he'd reach up the root of its tail up there. He'd start scratching back there. And old mule just down there and just back up to him. We'll take a step
Felt
back.
good.
And get him scratch more.
But you talking about after the crops are in and everything and for
They're
plenty
just
of
out
time.
fooling around having a good
So
time.
that's the only time you had, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Had to just hang in there.
the firewood would have already been in for earlier and
February,
Uh-huh.
January,
Uh-huh.
January, last January, February.
about
Time
this
to
time
go.
of the year. About this
Yeah.
time of year.
Year.
Uh-huh.
And then you got to get ready to go away
And,
from gardens and planting crops.
The lady said, Joe said, how's your house doing? He said, well, the house does pretty well. He walked up. He said, come on up and look around over my house. We walked up to the house. It's pretty late that evening we were over there. And we got up there at the house. He had a back porch on back there, covered, walled up a little piece back there about shoulder high, I guess, to me. Had some crossbars in there. Threw some strips off of lumber as it was sawmill business. They were up on them joists. And he had a big bunch of these old white-legged chicken hens. And they began to come in, that's where they roosted. You'd have to know, Uncle Joe was in that back porch there for it.
I never did.
So y'all were visiting.
Me and Bowman preached for us.
On this, yeah.
We
Okay.
went
Some year
out
later.
one day in the
Our senior
4th
citizens
on
thing,
4th
and he
July.
gave us all of that. It's just stuff that he knows when he was little.
Spring year.
Ernest was telling me about it.
It's something else.
We don't know
Take it, read
down
it.
below
Bring it
the
back
Orange
every
Bridge
Thursday.
or it started down Yellow Creek bottom. Squirrel
Start
Hunt.
talking about the goat.
We had logged across the creek there. Clady walked across it. I said, well, now, I got across. I said, you're not as old as I am. I said, you can walk
2
this
year
quick."
difference.
I said, well, sure, I can walk that long. I got over there and they got overbalanced somewhere or another, and that was a little drift out there. I thought it was right at the bank, you know. I thought it was on drifted up against the bank. I landed off over that and I went waist deep in that water. And I'm in this whole bottom there just covered with frost. Just looked like a young snow.
Mhm. Mm.
It's cold. He said, boy, you're going to freeze to death. I said, he said, let's see it. I got some matches. He got off out and done into where a log was, and the drift drifted up there. And this brush, leaves thing drifted up there and got scratched off the top of them, and the leaves are dry onto there. And we got that drift set a fire there, started, matches, set a fire, got started. They down and pulled my britches off. We wrung them out. He hoped to wring them out as dry as we could get them. Got that stick made of shafts, careful up there. And hung them pants up there next to that fire to let them dry. I had even then I had on some pretty heavy underwear and I had to pull them off. I stood around that fire without any clothes on except my shirt. The wig up there.
Would have been a sight for somebody to come by to see you, wouldn't it?
Well, it wasn't anybody's job, but there wasn't nobody else out that day.
Well, y'all, let me ask you this, Daddy. You looking at something there? Is that
No, it's-
that doesn't have anything to do with family?
It's just me and woman writing about families that Mr. Josie was in there.
Oh, one other thing, Aunt Connie, before we stop this tape, let me ask you this now. Going back to Harrison Butler, maybe I asked you a while ago, you don't remember any brothers or sisters? I mean...
Papa's brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's...
Harrison Butler now. Yeah.
She said
Yeah.
she did.
Oh, no, none of his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I heard
But
that
I thought
Paul
you
brother
meant-
too, no.
No, I'm talking about your grandpa. I'm
Yeah.
talking about your grandpa, Harrison, yeah.
I don't know where he had any brothers and sisters or not,
Okay.
Danny. I
Okay.
really don't.
Okay.
But he probably did. I hope you can get us some more that you
Mm.
could, that would have more on it than that.
Now,
that
you
I could
mentioned
do.
Vernon had something a while ago.
His daughter fixed him one, I think, and then Jessie and Lori, I think's got one. That's Grady's girl.
And when you're talking about going back a
I
certain
wondered if they
distance,
could, they'd have known more to start it with than the way they got their information. I don't know where they got their
I don't know
information.
now for Grady is Bernice's daddy, right?
No.
I know it's Bernie's.
Noah is Bernice's daddy. Okay.
And Grady's Lori's and Jessie Lee's daddy.
Okay. So when they went back, then they very well may have found brothers or sisters to Harrison Butler.
That's what I was wanting to tell you. I
Yeah.
believe you could call Lori or Jessie Lee. They both live together right over here. Banks knows where they live. If you ever wanted to go see them or call them and talk to them.
You know, I'd love to at least get the names of brothers and sisters.
grandpa's,
Yeah,
brothers
Harrison.
and sisters.
Harrison.
And I don't even know Grandma Butler's brothers and sisters if she had any. Because that was just before my time, way back.
Yeah, and you being the youngest, those folks would have pretty well been gone, possibly by your memory in years.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't all that
And some of the
long.
older ones might could have told me.
Yeah, I guess they could have. 'Cause,
Yeah.
see, Grady was 13 years, I believe, older than I was. He was the oldest. But I just believe you can get some information from them that would give you more information about
That far back.
that far back.
Well, hey, let me say this now. Your brother, Clady Butler, there's a Clady. Your daddy was a Claiborne, and your granddaddy was a Harrison C.
Harrison,
Do we know what Harrison C, what that C stands for? Was that
I thought it's Harrison Claiborne and Papa named after him, don't you guess?
Lady is-
Papa's name was
Yeah.
Claiborne Poole.
Harrison Clady, according to that? No, that's not
Harrison
4.
Claiborne.
No. Now that's my granddaddy, Harrison Clady. Now I'm talking about his,
Yeah,
Granddaddy.
that's Harrison Clady right there.
my
Mark.
great granddaddy.
Well, they think
You
that.
see, that's Clady, Claiborne, and there's a C.
Well, they think that was a Claiborne.
They think that Harrison C. Butler was Harrison
Claiborne.
Claiborne
Yeah, well,
Butler.
I can't keep from believing that. Now, I don't know for certain. And that
Grandpa-
information them girls has got, you know, you might get
My
that.
grandpa was Harrison. Who?
Yeah.
Claiborne Poole, but-
Claiborne Poole.
Claiborne
now.
Pooh Butler. Oh, but wait,
I
where'd that
didn't know
Pooh
where
come
that
from?
Pooh, that's
Well,
what I
that's
don't
been a
know.
question for several years.
I see, okay.
That's the reason I'd love for you to see these that's got more information
Yeah.
while you're at it, because I've just not got it. I know there's a bigger Bible, and I don't know who got it. But I was thinking I had more information in.
Well,
This was just when Papa and Mama married, and then there us children. But it was the year we was all born, you know.
okay, yeah, your
They
papa,
married in
my
80
great-grandfather
97.
married
In '97.
September the 12th, 1897.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's where it is.
She covered that.
That's Papa's right.
Now, if you were born at Blackjack, did you was your daddy and mother, was Claiborne, I mean, was
Clady.
Clady
Harrison Clady.
and Lou, were they living there with his daddy and mama?
No.
Okay.
There wasn't nobody living there, but
They had their own house there,
Yeah,
so.
Grandpa's done dead then.
Yeah, he's already dead.
Grandpa Harrison.
Harrison Butler was done
And
dead.
Grandma.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we pretty well covered it. Anything else we want to put on there as a farewell?
Well, we're just
Well,
glad
we've
you
been
come
here
and-
about 2 hours now. We've had us a set to him. Well, y'all have enjoyed it, ain't Connie,
Well, I
Franklin,
sure
and
have
Daddy. I
enjoyed
appreciate y'all
coming.
taking
Wish I'd
time.
have- Wish I'd have got up and dressed and
Well,
been
I
more
told you there
prepared.
wasn't nothing,
Well,
that wasn't what we was here for.
I'm
You
proud
know,
you didn't make out any speeches, because that's not what we came for. We came to just talk, just like what we
Well,
did.
I enjoyed it, really did, because we never get to see each other much, you know. and-
Yeah.
Well, I never did hear Mr. Claiborne talk nothing about his folks at all. Never heard him say whether he ever had. I mean, whether his,
Well, we just,
Danny
whether
Grandpa
his
Butler,
granddaddy had it.
my grandpa was a well-read man
Yeah, he was.
in the Bible.
Is that
He
right?
could quote you any scripture in the Bible.
That's
Brother-
my great-grandpa you're talking
I
about.
mean, just
my daddy,
her
Mhm,
daddy,
mhm.
just fluid, almost.
Mm.
and Grady was just like him, and I was
Grady
a
was
lot
just like
like him.
him.
I know a lot of scripture by memory, because he taught it to me. I'd read to him for hours, and he'd read to me.
Who's this?
I was
Your
baby,
daddy?
my
My
daddy,
great-grandfather?
Yeah, it's your great granddaddy. He was
They used to have debates on the Bible,
He never did get in them
He never
debates, I
did
don't
debate,
think. Now, a
did
lot
he?
of them did.
but there was debates around different
When you say
denominations.
debates around at the church house, they'd get
No,
up there
they
and
just
debate the
get 'em.
Bible, or
They
just at
just
the
meet
house?
somewhere.
Meet somewhere.
For that purpose,
Yeah,
they would have.
it was a debate on the Bible.
That's the reason for them getting together.
Yeah.
But Papa, I don't think got
No,
into
he never
that.
did.
He didn't
Before
get
I
into
know,
that.
He never did debate that way.
But he knows a lot about the Bible.
He knew the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's why you said old George the Mule might have been after George Vaughan, the preacher, is
preacher?
because your daddy was a religious man,
Yeah.
and he might
Oh,
have thought
George
well of
and
them.
Papa walked through them fields with, and hold them ears of corn.
And which George you talking about? The George the
That's
Mule or
George
George the
Vaughan,
preacher?
Preacher.
George the preacher is you talking about,
And
not
Papa
George the
go to
Mule.
his
George,
field over there.
The mule pulled the plow through the fields.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then George the Mule, yeah. But I guess Papa named that mule after George Vaughan. He thought so much of it. See, George married Papa's sister's girl, married Leona Woods, Uncle Jim Woods' girl.
Oh,
So there's
okay. My
kinfolks about
granddaddy's sister's child married Preacher Vaughan.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Well,
Leona,
okay.
and she's still living 91.
Yeah. I thought that.
Billy Brock goes and gets her and bring her to church every Sunday.
Well, y'all, I'm going to sign off here unless
Well,
unless y'all
we sure
want me to
did
do
enjoy
different.
y'all coming, and I hope if you'll see Jesse Lee and Lola